And a very good evening to you folks here on Speed Gaming 4. Welcome to the Super Metroid Link to the Past Combo Randomizer Weekly Community Race. We got a good one for you tonight, folks. It is nothing too special logic-wise, a simple normal mode seed, but tonight on camera, we've got Nitorific and Ataka and quite a full race time room tonight with 18 racers. I'm Captain MD13. I'm joined tonight by Professor Render. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay-ish, I guess. I have to do double duty here because there hasn't been. I mean, it's been a while since we had one of these, so I gotta step up to the plate and get this going here.
I'll give you a hand with that for sure. Once we get things kicked off, which we should be getting things kicked off pretty much in a second. Yep, the race has just been kicked off, so it'll catch up on stream in a minute. Now, what are you hoping to see tonight as far as item placement goes? Anything particularly wonky?
I don't know, honestly. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen SMZ3 seeds, as I mentioned, but let's just go with a good old favorite. The Shack 2 on Pearl, the Moon Pearl Shack 2. Well, actually, no, that's hard logic. Never mind.
Yeah, we actually can't see that. Well, Moon Pearl on Shack 2 is still absolutely possible.
Yeah. It's up that the suit is Meridia part, but
it looks like we are kicking things off, so let's begin. Now, in normal logic, we only have one item in play, and that would be Vanilla Morph Ball. We'll see if either runner decides to take the plunge down to grab it, or if they both decide to go straight into A Link to the Past, because technology just works that way with these two games. And they both choose to go straight to A Link to the Past. Hitaka running their trademark Medley sprite. I'm not familiar with Nitorific's sprite, though.
it should just be a ninja. I don't really think it's Sub-Zero or anything. It can't be Sub-Zero or Scorpion. That's way different. It's probably just a regular ninja sprite.
Okay. Yeah, chat confirming it's just a ninja sprite. We've got both red crystals in the light world in Hera and Eastern, and a pendant at Desert. We didn't see too much going on the ledge so far, just a piece of heart with missiles and supers in their respective Link to the Past starting areas today. Nitorific choosing to go for the castle play, gets a early heart container. You're never going to say no to that this early in the game. Alright, Hitaka is setting up for a Houlihan here, trying to get some early cash.
Yep. And all because you cause an error in Link's Y coordinate and you try to drop down and the game doesn't know what to do, so you places you here. All because of some dude. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's better than Breath of the Wild. In Breath of the Wild, if something goes wrong, we get a panic blood moon.
Yeah, and all because of some dude finding a war mech in Final Fantasy 1.
Oh, really?
It was a Nintendo Power competition where this guy named Chris Houlihan found a war mech in Final Fantasy 1, and he was supposed to be in an actual game for the NES, but never got to it, and it just got plopped into this game in the English translation of the game.
I see. All right, well, Hitaka is electing to try and grab a bomb drop from the 50/50s. Looks like not much going on from the bush crabs, and Nitorific just immediately incinerated that one for a tree pull, but looks like the tier 1 is just green rupees. Alright, Hitaka has found the mighty bomb that they've been looking for. We're gonna get, I think we might have already seen this, but what is on Lumberjack today? It's a pack of missiles. Boring.
Yeah. So, we don't have to kill Ega 1 just for that.
Hitaka electing to go from down to up in this Kakariko route here, starting with race game, as Nitorific will be going from top down.
Both are good strategies either way. With Hitaka's case, we wanted to check the race game, getting that 50/50 pack from little patch of grass.
I need to finding some more missiles in the Lost Woods. No bomb drops, interestingly. Bombs surprisingly sparse. 10 sticks on the library.
We got some Super Metroid bombs, but those are just power bombs, not like morph ball bombs.
They are certainly very useful when we eventually get a morph ball. Getting no shortage of heart containers at the start. We've got 6 hearts at Sphere 0. That's not too bad.
Finding the early Sphere 1 stuff is actually perfectly fine. Like just having those hearts right out of the gate.
And Hitaka taking advantage of that Houlihan money to grab those, to buy some bombs, given that the drops have been less than ideal today, shall we say.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense for Hitaka's case to go ahead and do that. Because, like you said, bombs have been pretty sparse and getting a lot of flying bombs, but not like regular blueberry bombs.
Yeah, must be a nasty famine sweeping the land today. It's instead, Hyrule has apparently gone through an industrial revolution and is crafting nothing but explosives.
Yes. Kind of like this, kind of like us
There
right
we
now.
go.
But
there we go. Longest wait for blueberries ever.
Yeah.
I was going to giggle if we got 4 heart pieces in a row, but instead it was 2 heart pieces and 2 red rupees. I am actually a little bit annoyed at this Sphere 0. We've got nothing.
Yeah, it's just weird that like CAC is not kind of enough, and just unusual.
Yeah, Kakariko usually has. So well, there's something. The Super Metroid Pegasus boots, otherwise known as the Green Boomerang, otherwise known as the Speed Booster.
Speed boost ain't bad.
Not at all. It's honestly probably one of the more broken Super Metroid items. Certainly one of the fastest. It does give us some options to play with here, too. Back in Super Metroid. Not a whole lot, but still a couple. Alright, looks like Hitaka's also going to prep another tree pull, which, yeah, we know Tier 1 is junk. I don't remember what the 2s or 3s are if Neaterific Check does. I think one of those might have been blue rupees, but I'm not sure.
I think we checked those just yet.
Whenever I see 2 red crystals in the light world, I start to get very suspicious of Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, it's not unusual at all. Like that when we get to the dark world and we actually start this up, start going into, we get those 2 out of the way, and it's a free Pyramid Fairy. Like literally could be anything.
Yeah, it depends on how early we have all the keys to it. We do need, by logic, of course, a lamp, a bow, and some way to Death Mountain, which Morph Ball and Power Bombs can do the trick by itself. And also, after Death Mountain, Mirror or Hammer Hook Shot.
Yeah, but still, it could be stuff like Kane or like very the likes.
Yeah, medallions, suits, rods. It's never fun when that's the case, because it's so much backtrack. Well, not backtracking, but it's a lot of... It's just extra stuff on your shopping list, you know?
That is definitely true.
We're finally getting our South Shore checks now, too. Both runners kind of meeting up in the middle here, as we're finally going to see the dam, which has even more missiles. I would love to see our missile count when we finally get back to Super Metroid, because I'm pretty sure it's more than 30 already. Or close to.
Yeah, which I believe lets us do. I want to say it lets us do some stuff with those 30 plus. With the whole missile can't. Oh, there's a hammer.
Okay, that's more like it. There's some offense.
Tempered damage, no less.
Yeah, a bit of a wonky hitbox temper, but tempered no less, and most importantly, a weapon, besides bombs. But by itself, unfortunately, that's all the hammer does at this moment. Although, that only gives us a couple more. Actually, we still need Morph Ball or some other form of East Death Mount access anyway, so never mind. Oh, Flipper's on the desert ledge. Okay, this seat's starting to come to life a little bit here.
Yeah, Nidorefic deciding to scout out towards the desert of mystery and grab some Pegasus boots.
There we go. Now we're talking early speed shoes for both games at 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's actually a really good way to start off.
Ooh, charge in Agina's cave.
Take those? We take those.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, I like charge being here. Like, nice spot for that.
Oh, that guard was just playing hide and seek and had a very good day. Surprise!
Always hate when that happens.
And I think it's even worse when it's a landmine.
Like, if you're like on Avar, there's no way you can avoid that. That's pretty annoying.
Oh, not quite
I'm pretty sure.
Is this a?
I want to say this is a water walk. Yeah, this is definitely a water walk.
Okay.
There's actually a quicker way of doing that. You could just hold angle down right, and then you could just dash alongside it. It doesn't actually, with the water walk, you don't actually need to be that close up to the pit in order to get it. So, let me see. Water walk acquired for Hitaka.
Nidorefic, I would assume would follow suit here.
Yeah, and understandably, Hitaka's going to go ahead and do the waterfall fairy. Without that moon pearl, we can't really route those. We can't really water walk. Got into water walk states when we were in Flake Flipper state, so this is makes perfect sense.
Oh, and that's an impact from Azora. Well, that's okay. We really can't tell what's on. We can't tell what's on Scamfish at this rupee count anyway. Not the worst thing to happen to Hitaka, but it is gonna cause him to miss out on the Zora Ledge until a more appropriate time.
I believe Hitaka's intention was to go and check the hobo because he was heading towards the whirlpool at that point.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Now, excuse me. But I guess with the unfortunate fake flipper bonk there, Hitaka will just elect to do the boots checks instead. Ooh, interesting. Quake medallion. We might need that later. Alright, super missiles up top and Zora Ledge, so Hitaka not going to be too punished for lacking the intel on that department just yet. Alright, so we have a couple of options. We've got front of Hyrule Castle, we've got Vanilla Morph Ball, we've got Terminator, courtesy of that speed booster. Does front of Gauntlet come into logic with just speed booster?
Oh, you quiz me on Super Metroid logic.
Oh, sorry. I want to say it does. I want to say it does. I'm used to hard logic where continuous wall jumps are pretty much used for everything to get around everything, but I want to say that yeah, I would think that speed booster would be enough because you basically can jump with speed booster, and that gives you the height you need for That gives you the height for Gauntlet. So yeah, I think front of Gauntlet is okay, but I think back of Gauntlet we still need Morph Ball. Guards being rude as usual. And Hitaka's going to go for the castle. Not a bad idea considering. There's still only one logical chest in play, but both these runners at their skill levels, they can pretty much clear the place out. 7 hearts is nice for Hyrule Castle as well.
Yeah, generally you don't really need that many hearts for Hyrule Castle, but it's nice to go in with it. You can take several hits on there. I mean, it's really perfectly fine if you just go through the dungeon with only 3 hearts. Heck, we can do this in the vanilla game anyway.
Fair enough. All right, Nito, on the other hand, is heading for Sahasrara's Closet. We got 3 items in play here, and a green pendant check, ideally. Skull Woods. That's not a bad green pendant, to be honest.
Oh.
Oh, that's a mirror. Oh. We're actually getting pretty close to Hera access.
Yeah, that's a nice. That's actually also a good mirror spot as well. Either it's just flute or glove.
And I missed what was in the... Okay, it was the map. Okay, so yeah, this is out of logic for Hitaka. Because the small key wasn't in that first chest. Ooh, that's a nice beam.
Yeah, that's a good ice beam. Zelda Cell, and interesting because when you think about it, Charge Beam being in a Gainus Cave, depending on when Hitaka goes down to the Desert of Mystery, that will come into play for a long time. I would imagine the same thing with Nidorific, although not to that degree. If Nidorific attempts to goes and does Hyrule Castle fronts after this play.
Yeah, Hitaka elected to skip out on Dark Cross for now, which is fair. But Hitaka's going to be very happy to get these, as Chad points out. This is the M Hunt: missiles, money, and a mirror. The only thing missing is Mario. Wait, no, don't. Sorry, I mentioned something terrible. Mario can't be missing. That's a problem if that's the case.
What are you talking about? Just have Luigi go out on a ghost hunting spree, then just to find Mario.
Wait, that's Luigi's Mansion. No, I'm kidding.
There's a tournament for that, by the way. If you're ever interested in it, if you actually like that game, which I do. I don't watch it myself, but matter of respect to those who do speedrun it.
We got a bottle in Eastern Palace so far, so that should be a logical sick kid since the yeah, that's a Sphere Zero big key as well. So Hitaka electing to dive into Super Metroid without diving Eastern for the moment, and so far, like I said, 30 missiles, 30 supers, and 15 power bombs already. So looking great on the auxiliary armament here. Literally enough for Ridley. And Hitaka going to immediately dive into Green Brinstar. You were kind of railroaded because of the lack of Morph Ball. Alright, 3 items in this room. Unfortunately, we can only get one of them, and it's more supers. And up top in early supers, we have a stick capacity upgrade. Not Deku sticks, arrows. Been watching a lot of Ocarina of Time 3D Randomizer lately.
I could never get into 3D Zelda, but I can understand why it's so popular too.
Yeah, I like Majora's Mask Randomizer just because of how much you can randomize, including the sound effects. So just imagine the postman's "ya" being the low heart container sound. And it's hilarious.
No. Not to mention, not to mention, time management is of utmost importance.
Absolutely. Looks like not a whole lot going on in Super Metroid, so Hitaka likes to reset right out of that. Wow, we're down to Vanilla Morph Ball and Sick Kid. Wow, what is this?
I would imagine
here?
Hitaka is heading. Oh, sorry.
I'm just asking, what is this start here? This is getting kind of ridiculous.
I don't know. Honestly, like Link to the Past, yeah, we have speed booster and stuff like that. But
actually, with speed, I just actually remembered with speed, we can actually also get the item at Retro Brinstar E-Tank. So that is actually, that's 2 items in play down here.
Well, Neaterific is doing Dark Cross.
Yeah, looks like he's trying to find the chest.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright, so Vanilla Morph Ball only had power bombs. So it's either this or Sick Kid, I want to say. Yeah, there's our flute. That's our Death Mountain.
Alright, cool.
Tower of Hera, anybody?
Yeah, you're definitely going to be going to Hera after this.
So, let's see. Speed in Blind's Hut to... yeah, Speed in Blind's Hut to Flute in Retro Bryn High Jump. Or Retro Bryn E-Tank, excuse me. I like where this is going.
Yeah, with a flute being in Retro Bryn, and then you have then else in Link to the Past. You know, we have the mountain, we have E-Step Mountain in play as well.
Yeah, Mirror and Hammer lets us get over there, indeed. That's a good number of checks in that neck of the woods, too. That's Paradox Cave, Spiral Cave. Neaterific, meanwhile, has made it to the back of the castle, back of Escape, and we're going to get 3 items here. One of the green rupees of glory, green rupees of eternal glory, I think is set in OTR. And the key. So the key was in the back, but wow, Hyrule Castle was junk today. Except for Ice Beam.
I was just gonna say Ice Beam. You can't count that one out.
That's fair, and given the circumstances, given when we don't have Morph Ball, Ice Beam might actually be needed for Red Tower shenanigans soon.
I
think
this is not bad, honestly. Like for this situation, I mean, and what Neaterific did actually do was steal the key from the guard and to head all the way over to Dark Cross and also go straight to the back of Escape. So you said it was out of logic too. So those gloves have to be like somewhere in the front, I would imagine, or somewhere in the Link to the Past.
They're either in a Link to the Past or it's Morph Ball in Death Mountain somewhere to gloves in SM. But yeah, Hitaka's going to go activate that flute. I don't think Hitaka did not dip Eastern, so does not have the bottle for Sick Kid. But upon acquiring the bottle, can just flute back here and pick that up no time flat. Alright, Neaterific picking up Ice Beam, and then that's probably going to force him into Super Metroid. Looks like Hitaka's first choice is to immediately go and rescue the old man out of logic without a lamp, but that's still a nice thing to do. Not to mention extremely brave. I imagine folks don't mind seeing in the dark in Breath of the Wild.
For me, it's just that, I mean, I've done this enough times, so I know exactly how to play it.
Alright, Sick Kid has for us just some change and an interesting sprite glitch as a result of the pause menu.
I did not know you can do that.
Me neither. As the saying goes, you learn something new every day, folks. The old man just rewarding us with even more explosives. He had a missing no. Oh, jeez.
That too. I read that too. That made me smirk.
No thanks. Alright. Croc Escape just has more missiles that we really don't need at this point. Nothing going on in the North Fair Business Center either. What is this start? It's literally just follow the one breadcrumb to each individual item at this point.
I mean, my mantra for A Link to the Past is just follow the items for the progression that shows. And that is definitely apparent in this scenario where you just have to follow the flute up into the era.
And just a red rupee and another missile tank in on Spectacle Rock. So I guess there has to be something in either Hera or East Death Mountain. Well, we got our remaining Dark World checks. Our last pendant is in Misery Mire. That's about it, though. We know Skull is green pendant already, and everywhere else is a blue crystal. And we're fire locked out of Tower of Hera too. Oh wait, no, we're not. We've got one more chest. Okay, yep, we're fire locked.
And with no hook shots, have a way to do a Hera pot. So we have to do East Step Mountain.
Unfortunately, just because of our item set, we have to leave a lot of checks behind. You know, you'd love to be able to clear a whole place out, but in this case, you know, maybe having to double dip Tower of Hera for your crystal, it's just not pleasant. Floating Island didn't look too relevant today. Just some more cash in Spiral Cave. You know what? If we could suddenly find a pair of gloves, we can get those flippers in, we can get those flippers on Desert Ledge.
Yeah, we need to find like at least 2 sets of them though to get the bits.
Yeah, either the 2 gloves or book. Either or, really.
Yeah, and we still have not get to see the book in this stage. But speaking of the glove and the moon pearl.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
That's a pretty nice Paradox Cave.
Wow, okay.
What other goodies have you got for us, Paradox Cave? Finally, some energy tanks. And the red cane.
Alright. We have Can Samaria, Dark World Access.
Okay, suddenly, Link to the Past seems a lot more tantalizing. The morph ball could be at the Dark World. Jeez!
Oh, this is... With the morph ball being in Dark World? Oh, man.
I'm sorry, I thought usually the routine is we're playing the Super Metroid randomizer followed by Link to the Past, not the other way around. I kid, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah, I know, I get it, but yeah, and I totally understand because Super Metroid has quite a number of checks you could do in it alone. Same thing with Link to the Past. This is rewarding players for staying in Link to the Past and punishing those that stay in Super Metroid. And this is very apparent in here where Nidoриfic should have Flute here.
Yeah, Nita's gonna activate Flute and head to Death Mountain for what ultimately is that treasure trove of a Paradox Cave. 3 out of 7 progression items, that's solid.
Like this is definitely a great way to start for Hitaka in this scenario.
Yeah, the only thing Hitaka's missing out by compared to Nidoриfic is that charge beam, but Hitaka's probably going to head in that direction anyway, since Maya's a pendant, so maybe not. Unless, well, flippers are going to be relevant, because also finally a sword at 30 minutes in. No, I wouldn't call that a really hype cave. I mean, it had a sword.
I mean, you can't go wrong with a sword. Even if the rest is just missiles and stuff. You can get away with having a sword in hand.
Yeah, Chad points out if runners had done the hard mode type start and like checked both of the morph ball and retro brain tank early, that would have been a very early flute, as it turns out. But not the case today for the 2 runners on screen. Whoa, Hitaka almost got stuck in the wall there for a second.
Don't do overworld glitches while I'm sitting here, because I will find out. Food. No, seriously, that's it's kind of funny to see someone like getting stuck in the wall there from someone with a glitched background in mind.
Oh my. Yeah, at this point, we have a few options on the table. We can full clear Thieves Town. We can actually do a little bit in pod, depending on bow lock and whatnot. The rest of the Village of Outcasts, of course. That is, what is that, 8 times 2 plus 2 extra, so that's 18 digs for a missile? Boring. Right,
Nidoриfic is going to find out about the hard truth about Hera. Can't clear it just yet.
And yeah, Hitaka is going to check Village of Outcasts. Maybe front of Skull Woods, but given that it's a pendant, maybe dive the front, check for an item, and then dart out, but we'll see. But yeah, at this point, there is really nothing else we can do in Super Metroid. We have literally cleared all the logical Super Metroid checks at the moment. Not having Morph Ball is kind of a problem. Indeed, Hitaka is going to Skull Woods first. What if Morph is on green pendant, chat asks? If that's the case, we need a Fire Rod. That's all we need, though. I'm about ready to say ask and thy shall receive if it comes up. I also wasn't paying attention. Was that a key or a junk item in that chest? In Skullwoods. Compass? Okay, so no, none of the 2 items from Skullwoods yet. That's the one downside to Skullwoods. It's not a very dense dungeon with only 2 items.
I mean, it's a spot where you actually... Oh, that's not fun.
Yeah, we have it at the same time. On one side, we have a death, and on the other side, we get blue mail.
Yeah, especially considering that Neoderivic has to run all the way back to get to East End Mountain.
Yeah, deaths in, well, as the name implies, deaths in Death Mountain are probably some of the most punishing, especially Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah, and overall deaths in general aren't fun because you'll have to go from another from your save quit points instead of just having to be just right at the back of the dungeon, in front of the dungeon rather.
No sign of that second item yet for Skull Woods, and I think we're pretty much done here, actually. We can't go any further without Fire Rod or the Big Key, neither of which we found. Alright, Hitaka's next stop is going to be a quick peek at Bumper Ledge. The other shirt.
We're not going to get that for sure.
Nope. Not with the skill level of these two runners. Alright,
so there's... Go ahead.
No, you beat me to it.
Alright. So there's Neoderivic with Dark World Access, and soon we'll get the Can Samaria. Always fun to see.
Looks like Kataka's going to get Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb out of the way real quick. Putting that mirror to work.
One thing that I picked up from when I'm racing, you can actually save an additional mirror by just going to Graveyard Ledge first, or not, sorry, King's Tomb first, then do Graveyard Ledge. Why? Because it saves you on a mirror, and if you're doing a quick swap, then you just stay on the mirror and you're perfectly fine. Of course, SMZ3 doesn't have quick swap, but in the Z3 rando, that's a thing. Also, Hitaka must have forgot that Kingston was a thing, so it's gonna run back to there now.
Oh yeah, I was wondering why Hitaka was turning around here for a second, and then yeah, you brought it up. Yeah, no King's Tomb yet.
That's why I brought it up, because you can do that.
It's gonna be hilarious if this is progression, and Hitaka's probably gonna breathe a massive sigh of relief.
Yeah, especially having to leave that behind.
Never mind. Okay, so we're still looking for one breadcrumb at a time here. We're 36 minutes in, and we still don't have a morph ball.
I still think it's going to be in the Dark World.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it has to be at this point. It has to be in A Link to the Past. We can't do anything else in Super Metroid.
Because being without a morph ball, what are you supposed to do? Just sit there in a red tower, just do nothing?
Oh, chat brings up a good point. And now that the books just come up there in C-shaped house, we've got Scam King. Just got in play thanks to the gloves.
Once they get the money, of course, but...
Yeah, money's still kind of an issue. We haven't seen any of the 300s. There was a 100 in Big Pink earlier, but that was about it. I think we've seen enough energy tanks to do a Variolus run to Bubble Mountain, but we are playing on normal logic, so they're not going to find Variosuit back there if that's what the plan was.
Yeah, it would be out of logic in that case.
And Hitaka's going to go ahead and clear out Thieves Town. Makes sense. It's a crystal. You can full clear it. Yeah, at this point now, if we don't see anything in Thieves Town, My suspicion is Hitaka immediately goes and picks up flippers, and we might have to see some rupee farming for a King Zora check here.
I don't, as much as it pains me to see this happen, because I know one seed that that did that back in Z3R, and that was a seed where there was not a lot of money to work with at all, and Zora had progression, but the only way you have to get to Zora is that you farmed Blind's Hut over and over and over and over again, because the situation was you didn't have gloves for that to work, so you can't just pull up the glove to pull up the rupee thief caves to just farm rupees that way. So you're just stuck here farming Blind's Hut over and over and over again.
I don't think it was the same exact race that you mentioned, but I have seen that happen before, and it is just unbelievably painful when it does happen.
The thing about it too is that everyone, unless you play it smartly, you play it smart, or there's a situation that opens it up for you, there's no way you're able to everyone has to do that farm.
Actually,
so there's no way to get around it.
I think the next thing I would like to see Hitaka pick up here in Thieves Town is Fire Rod, because with Book in tow, we can full clear Skull Woods, get the green pendant, find the last item, and check Ped while we're at it at the end with a mirror. You know me, I love my Ped checks.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not a worse thing. Well, we got Spazer, Screw Attack.
That's nice, but I don't think that's gonna let us do anything more than Speed Booster let us do. Chad asked if Pyramid Ledge was checked. It was not. Oh no. Desert Ledge had flippers. Oh wait, did Pyramid Ledge have? Oh, I guess somewhere else had Sand Card. Never mind. Yeah, Pyramid Ledge we haven't seen. Desert Ledge we know has flippers, which we can get now, courtesy of the book. Actually, what's stopping us from Pedestal at this point? An extra glove upgrade from Meyer. Possibly a medallion. And a fire source.
Yeah. Those two, of course, those three being not required, or 3 or 2, depending on if Meyer's Quake, but being available on Ped because of their requirements. So that means it opens up Hook Shot, Ice Rod, either Fire Rod or Lamp, depending on what the fire source is, and either like Varia, Space Jump, Morph Ball, the like.
Well, meantime, it's just a... granted, swords don't really matter, but a fighter sword blind's not brilliant. Hitaka unfortunately got off script there, but with Blue Mail, it's pretty easy to keep your cool on during this fight. It's easy to keep your head on.
Hitaka opened up.
I was just going to say, it's easy to keep your head on during this fight, but Blind's having a hard time with it, and the KO yields a missile pack.
And first blood from Hitaka.
That is true. First crystal at 42 minutes, where we still don't have a morph ball.
Yeah, I was going to say, with Hitaka, Hitaka ended up doing a spin on the first hit, and that means you get to do slashes. That ends up getting up script. If Blind is it's on the right spot.
I'm gonna laugh in front of Gauntlet's progression, because at this point it's Hitaka's pulling out the mirror. We might be seeing an early ped check here.
This is a ped check. This is definitely that makes perfect sense here to do this, especially after you've got the book out of Thieves Town. So checking ped here will give you first information whether or not it's dead. It would be interesting if there was nothing on pad, and as absolutely 100% required. I would laugh if it's Morph Ball.
This will give you 10 shots with your bow. Aww. It's just a few sticks.
Still, though, it would have been. It would be pretty funny if it was Morph.
Could you imagine? I mean, I imagine it's happened, but it's certainly never happened anytime I've witnessed it. But Morph Ped would be disgusting.
Yeah, that's why I said it would be funny because it's that awful.
Oh yes. Looks like Kataka's going to go ahead and at least get the flippers out of Desert. We'll see what else can be acquired. We can check everything else in Desert besides... and the only thing we actually can't do is get the pendant. That's about it. Which now that we know the pendant is irrelevant, the only thing we have to worry about is if Lamolus has the second item. Oh, there's our key for the right side. To answer the two questions in chat, Charge Beam was found in Agina's cave. Plasma has not been found yet. And Nitorific gets the first KO and gets his first crystal of the evening at 44-47. There's a fire source in Desert. Alright, well, we have a lamp. Which means, assuming it's not bow-locked, Pod suddenly becomes a really good idea right about now. Oh, we got another beam upgrade as well. We got Spazer on the torch, and that's all the desert items, so there is no need to take out the boss. That was not a bad desert dive, all things considering, and Hitaka's going to end this with a Flippers pickup.
Yeah, getting the Spazer here is cool. It's great. You also get your fire source.
Now the question becomes, where do we go from here? Because, yeah, Pod's available. It was Lamp to answer question, chat. Because now Pod is good. Is there really anything else we can do with just Lamp? Not particular. Oh, well, we can finish up Hera and get that first red crystal.
Yeah, we have a 5-6 crystal to acquire, and then I would, but Bova's Pod. Oh, that feels kind of disgusting.
Feels kind of disgusting, but we're as far as high density checks are concerned, we really are starting to run out. I mean, of course, there could also just be progression on Zora this whole time, and it's been locked by a East Death Mountain glove.
And Moon Pearl, no less. That was the only way you get to Dark Alexis because they was just right next to each other.
Oh yes. All right, Hitaka's going to go ahead and check what was on Bridge Guy earlier, as he was unable to do so due to an unfortunate water walk impact with Azora. I can't remember if we've seen this already. I think we saw this already from Nitorific, but I don't recall it being particularly relevant. Nope, just another heart piece. Looking pretty good from a defensive end on Link to the Past. 10 hearts blue mail. It's not brilliant, but at this stage of the game, it'll do. Alright, let's see what Hitaka decides to do here. We appear to have a mirror bonking problem there on Nitorific's end. Oh, I think that mirror portal is in an unusable spot.
Oh, that's annoying.
Mm-hmm. Chat's pointing out we could get all the way up to left side swamp with this equipment too. We have flippers and mirror. In the meantime, we're getting our pyramid ledge check. To answer your question, chat, some items are not visible on the tracker, namely that grapple beam that Hitaka's about to pick up, just because it's rarely it's really just not a necessity for the game.
And while it's nice to see have the grapple beam in play for make things a little bit easier, it really doesn't really do much outside of that.
Yeah, it's good for farming, but that's about it. Farming and gravity suitless Meridian movement, which again is not in logic in this day at this point in time. However, once gravity suit does show up, as Chad points out, Shack Tool suddenly becomes a possibility. Now, granted, Morph Ball can't be on Shack Tool, but it would still be hilarious if there was progression there at this point, considering how we're still 49.5 minutes in, and we still currently do not have a Morph Ball. Alright, so Ataka's just wrapping up the Hyrule Castle checks just to tick off all the remaining boxes that were left behind earlier. And Hitaka's next pit stop is Catfish by the looks of it. Alright, Catfish has for us more money that we actually probably should have picked up.
With like we're only needing like half of only like about half rupees just to even get Chuck Zora, and we have not been seeing any like 300s for a while now.
I don't think we've seen a single 300. Yeah, there's 4 in the pool, but they just have not shown up. Like I said, the only big rupee drop I've noted is the 100 in Big Pink.
Only we had the more modern rupee accounts for things. Like give it like the like between worlds treatment.
How do you mean?
I think there's like a purple rupee and a silver rupee in that game.
Oh yeah, there are purple, silvers, and golds in Link Between Worlds. Yeah,
That would help immensely.
absolutely. But yeah, it looks like we're doing a bowless pod because that's pretty much all we can do at this point. That guard is in a very bad spot.
Which means if this is not bow locked, which it shouldn't, question mark, then I don't know what else to do.
Watch this be Morph Ball.
It is Morph Ball.
Like,
I'm gonna be visually upset.
I mean, oh yeah, Pod's bow locked, all right, but at the other hand, the rest of Super Metroid is blown wide open.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably the second best thing that could have been in that chest, to be fair. Because at least we could still do the rest of this bowless pod.
Yeah, and it goes on, it pretty much lines up perfectly with what I was thinking, because it shouldn't be bow locked in this situation.
Nah, it was either going to be bow locked with progression there, or not bow locked, and there'd be stuff to do.
Yeah, with either morph or that small cane, but it's not like we're gonna say like, oh, this is morph.
Oh, Niterific just found Titan's mitts. They're on the Ether tablet.
On Ether tablet, no less. Oh, that requires another sword.
At least I assume that's what you can lift heavier things means.
Yeah, that should be the case.
I know Samus doesn't get gold gauntlets in any game. Could you imagine if she did?
Just give it some special crystals, and I'll do the job.
Yeah, maybe summon a Great Fairy or two.
I
Granted,
meant like a Thanos glove.
Oh, the Infinity Gauntlet, yeah. Could you imagine if it's a sword in here back and you have to go all the way back to Ether Tablet for Titans and then you start doing more Link to the Past stuff? Because if we do find Titans, that's not a tremendous whole lot, actually, besides Dark Death Mountain, because we still don't have a Fire Rod for Ice Palace.
And if I'm not mistaken, unless this is something pertaining to hard logic, we could get into what Lower Norfair.
If we get if we do get Titans, we do get access to Lower Norfair through the Mire portal. Yes. Unfortunately, I think it is out of logic.
That's what I figured. I figured it'd be a hard logic thing, not a normal logic thing.
Mm-hmm. So far, this Palace of Darkness is still barren, and I am raising major eyebrows.
Pretty much, I think after this, you mirror, and then you go ahead and go out to Mire area.
Well, Mire area, we're gonna have to wait out until we get that second sword upgrade, and there's another bottle for Hitaka, which is gonna. That ends the pod dive. That was all that was in pod, which is a bottle. I think we had progression on Zora.
And that means we have to farm.
I mean, we have a glove, so it's not the worst thing possible, but... Okay, Hitaka's also going to get Eastern, which is going to yield another bottle. I cannot wait for this interview already.
In a scene like this where your morph ball is late and you have to farm for Zora money to possibly get your progression on there, there's going to be a lot of salty people. I know it.
And Moldorm 1, Nidorific 0. Because, yeah, that's... Nidorific's also taking out Moldorm courtesy of that lamp from Desert. I don't think we've seen the other item in Hera, and if we have, I missed it.
Missed it as well, because I was more focused on the pod play and not the Hera move.
Yeah. I didn't think about Hera either with the lamp, because at this point, because Sphere 0 and Sphere 1, for that matter, were like 30 minutes ago, you start to filter those checks out, those leftover checks out in your head. And there's the other item in Hera, and it's even more sticks.
Yeah, you should probably be farming for rupees at this point.
Yeah, Taka's gonna get the bottle and then realize, and then get the item in the big key chest, and then realize, oh, here we go. Probably actually just gonna come out of the big key chest and then grab the rupees in this under those vases outside the big chest. At which point, there's your Zora money. Enjoy your Zora progression. Now, what's the progression going to be? Is it going to be Titan's Mitts? Is it going to be Morph Ball? Is it going to be another sword for Titan's Mitts on Ether Tablet? I just realized I said Titan's Mitts as the first choice, but it can't be on Zora because we know where Titan's Mitts are. Yeah.
Right. The other two you did. It is right though. So. I think I know there is a rupee farm that you could a spot you could find rupees in. It's on the right side of the back of Eastern. I was going to do, I believe.
I'm not familiar with that one.
There is one. I know it.
Oh, there must be another one. Oh yeah, Hitaka's going for the rupee Phillip.
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to.
I thought it was inside the vases.
The bases have fairies.
Okay, so they're refill rooms. And we are being joined by the folks from Speed Gaming 3. You brought a whole bunch of folks over. Welcome, folks, to the Super Metroid Zelda 3 Combo Randomizer weekly race. We got an interesting scenario developing here, folks, where we suspect there is progression on Zora. We've been putting it off to this point, and we currently do not have a morph ball as we're about to cross the 1 hour mark. And no, this is not overworld glitches. But yes, 1 hour later, we are finally going to see the progression that is on King Zora, and if it's a sword, it does give us Titan's Mitts because it's on Ether Tablet, and we have Book. For that matter, Bombo's tablet hasn't been peeked at either. This is also Hitaka's...
Yeah, that's true.
This is also Hitaka's third trip to the area, so this cannot be sitting well with him at the moment.
I mean, I would expect I would expect a bit of frustration coming out from Hitaka's side, considering what this is.
I'm sorry.
Oh my, what?
All right, in the words of Kronk, well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense. Where does that leave us? Front of Gauntlet. I think that's it. I think we're down in front of Gauntlet.
Yeah, you have to get a front of Gauntlet here.
And that's been in play for a while, actually. I can't remember if Speed Booster is the only thing you need to get that in play, or if it's in front of Swamp, chat points out too. Yeah, we've got it all the way up to left side Swamp.
Also, casually just ignore the fact that they just pushed a mimic out of the way.
If the game can't see it, it's not there.
That is true, because if all the enemies are off the screen, the door opens. Doesn't matter it's just the immediate screen, as in your camera.
All right, we're also now being joined by the folks from the main Speed Gaming channel. You are also joining us here for the Super Metroid Zelda 3 Combo Randomizer race, where we're just getting constantly confounded by the lack of progression here, and we're practically down to the last check or two, looking for a Morph Ball or something else. Now, Nidorufic got the big key out of the Bowlock section of Pod, so we are going to see what's in here. And it's the map. Okay, front of Swamp, anybody?
Oh, no matter how you route the so-called good checks that you have to do are actually really they don't show up at all, and the bad checks are what you're actually looking for. Oh wait, I forgot about this part too. Oh no.
Okay, so if anyone's wondering why we're giggling at that, Titan's Mitts are on Ether Tablet. So we're stuck in a Link to the Past some more, folks.
Admittedly, that escaped both me and Captain, like straight up.
Yeah, it did, because I didn't think Screw Attack by itself would yield any more checks than Speed Booster would without Morph Ball, but lo and behold, underneath Mother Brain. That would be an interesting spot for Master Sword. So yeah, this now gives us, well, that gives us Titan's Mitts, which means, barring medallion issues, we might have Meyer access.
This is...
But most importantly, we have Dark Death Mountain.
I know normal logic, the seeds tend to be disgusting, but like not to this degree.
Yeah, and Hitaka is actually on the right path here, because this will result in Titan's Mitts right in front of Dark Death Mountain, no less. We also get, as Chad points out, the smith chain, hammer pegs. Yeah, a few things open up. It's still not ideal, though. We're still looking for way too much right now. We still need a bow, both rods, hook shot, possibly another medallion, 2 suits, and a morph ball.
And yeah, in about an hour 3 in, we are still looking for that morph ball to even do anything regarding Super Metroid.
I can't remember. Did Hitaka go to Aginas for Charge Beam? I want to say he did.
He did. Just forgot to mark it off there.
Yeah, that's my fault. I'm doing Hitaka tonight. I'm trying
to help as well.
That's all right. Yeah, we're kind of dual rolling tonight. We're a little short stabbed, but yeah, this was an interesting start too. Hammer was in the was underwater near the dam, and that was pretty much our only weapon for a good chunk of the first 20 minutes or so. Oh, hey, Nito's doing front of swamp.
If this has morph ball, I'm going to be really, really upset.
Oh,
I'm going to be amused.
Oh, I didn't think about this. Morph ball on laser bridge. Anybody?
Now we have Turtle Rock as well. Are you kidding me?
I forgot that's a tree pull.
Yeah, that is what you can tree pull from. That's a rare situation where that ever comes up. You don't ever think about it, but that is a spot you can do that from.
Hitaka's just spinning around in confusion here. I would be too.
Probably just having a bit of fun just while he's waiting for the platform to go around, and we can keep going up into Chain Jump Room. Right, we can actually we could do swamp here.
Yeah, we can do all the way up to left side swamp. That's about it.
Yeah.
I don't think... yeah, there was nothing of note in the first item chest in Swamp.
And we get some missiles that were kicked out of... So we're kicked out of Turtle Rock. That's fine. It's not... Doing this play isn't actually that bad, because if you do get it's nothing that isn't a small key, you get kicked out really quickly. But if it is 2 keys, then it's considered then is where it starts to become a gamble.
Ah, okay. Yeah, my lately in my experience with randomizers, it's gotten to the point where if the logic says it's there, it's probably there. Which you know,
in my case, I actually had a scene where I was mentoring someone, and that scenario came up. Our opponents did it, and we did it like very, very late, and we were kind of sweating into the very end. Ended up winning that one though.
Very nice. But yeah, no, if there's one thing I've learned about the randomizer is if it's, no matter how far down the logic chain it is, if it's in logic, it can be there. So it was entirely possible that could have been Morph Ball and Turtle Rock. Looks like instead we're going to see Meyer. We're running out of checks here on Nitorific's end too. Nito's going to be doing left side swamp here. And it's Quake for Meyer, which is a full clearable dungeon question mark? We don't need Fire Rod for that, right?
No. You do the lamp is perfectly reasonable for it.
Okay. Well, at least now we're not going to be dying in Super Metroid anytime soon, we hope. I'm pretty sure we've gotten another, like, 6 energy tanks since East Death Mountain. Not to mention Misery Mire is a pendant, so why would you want to go in there right now? Another energy tank.
So I guess we're going into Meyer.
Yeah, Swamp had nothing. That's it. We got to go to Meyer. Unbelievable.
Well, Hitaka's going to go ahead and do this play, which is out of logic, but it is a place you can do something with it.
Okay, Neaterific check Bombos. There's another 3 hundo outside Big Bird's room. But yeah, there was just couch cash on Bombos tablets, so nothing of significance over there. Yeah, Hitaka's trying to find the magic spot to pepper Big Bird here with super missiles, and Nito's about to get scammed by Zora.
Yeah,
Oh.
and time Hitaka ran out of time.
Okay. Yeah, it took
a couple hits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it took a couple hits and ran out of time as a result.
Chat saying left side swamp was the map and compass.
Oh, that is not fun.
Yeah, so we now know that Nito's next port of call has to be to Old Mother Brain to pick up Master Sword. We've already seen Gauntlet from Hitaka. Front of Gauntlet, it was a heart piece. So yeah, time to go to Meyer. That's pretty much all we can do. Could you imagine if Meyer just had rods at this point?
If it did, that would add on to how even awful this seed has become.
Because here's the even more stupid part of this. We still don't have Pyramid Fairy access because of that lack of bow. Since we can't clear the Eastern Crystal.
With Eastern being a 5/6, that is 100% required.
To answer question, chat, we do not have a heavy-duty fire source yet for Ice Palace, so we can't get past the foyer.
Actually, speaking of 5/6 crystals, did Hitaka ever do Hera?
No, Hitaka did the front, saw that it was fire-locked, and noped out.
So Hitaka will have to clear out Moldorn.
Yeah, but in Hitaka's case, probably will be able to do that with a hook shot, so Hera potting and go mode and whatnot. I don't think Hitaka's too worried about Hera right now. We still do have Hammer, Pegs, and Smith, but if there's something in Pend and Meyer, and if it's more Link to the Past progression...
I don't even know what's up. Like, this is... You said it before. Normally, it's just about the Super Metroid stuff, and you stay in Super Metroid for quite a while, but not the other way around, where it's just you get a whole to look to the past stuff, and you have to do essentially Z3 rando, and just completely forgo Super Metroid until you actually have to clear it.
Although, to be fair, we did have to dip back into Super Metroid for one item. For that Master Sword.
And
actually, no, we had to dip in twice for the flute, and then go back for Master Sword. Both cases so far, though, back and forth to Retro Brinstar. So far, there's been nothing else in Super Metroid besides those 2 Retro Brinstar items. Morph in GT. Is that even possible because of the progression items in GT hiccup? I don't think so. Yeah, because I don't think... I think the only Super Metroid important item that can be in GT, if it's required by... that cannot be in GT, is Charge Beam. Or that can be in GT, excuse me. Charge Beam can be in GT because it's now no longer a mandatory progression item. But anything else cannot be in GT.
Try saying it's not possible. Okay. I was just curious because that is something that... that's a really interesting question to ask you. And question from chat being they track bad. Yep, it's just arrows and nothing else. Iterate that more if it was morphable on pet, I'd be laughing right now.
Oh, me too. I would be right there with you. Let's see. Where's Hitaka? Oh, Smith chain hammer pegs. Yeah, this is. I mean, everybody's getting railroaded to it.
I think the Smith chain's fine in this case. This is something you can easily do, and you have mirror, so you don't have to worry about doing it Smithless.
There we go. Finally, we're getting somewhere, and it's more Link to the Past progression. Again.
Hey, Rod.
Okay, you want a full clear Total Rock now, Hitaka? Your choice.
At the laser bridge, yes, but
yeah.
still full clear either way.
Nidorific was not happy about that Master Sword. Just sent a couple of spacer shots into old Mother Brain's little glass tank there.
If I was skilled enough not to play Super Metroid, I would be upset as well. But I don't.
All right, let's see what the Smiths have for us. If the Smiths are crafting an ice rod.
We're going to Turtle Rock, I guess.
We can either go to Turtle Rock. Ice Palace is full clearable now. We can get the green pendant and the second item out of Skull Woods. Take your pick, but it's literally on polar opposite corners of the country. Not country, kingdom. Hyrule's a kingdom.
I mean, technically, you can make that a whole country if you really wanted to.
Case in point, Breath of the Wild.
Yep. Where at this point the Nintendo is like, cares about the timeline anymore. We'll just make it so many years into the future that it starts to feel like a I don't know, like a really, really old age thing with technology thrown in there, because no timeline needed,
Fair enough. Hitaka successfully pulling off what I like to call phantom chest glitch, and getting another energy tank out of that.
It's actually kind of funny because I like to call it an oversight myself, but I did some labbing and I found out that you can there actually is a quite a range you can actually do the purple chest thing from, and it doesn't have to be like right up close to the guy. I have actually made up a whole image of it and posted on the training room in ALTTPR's Discord.
Fascinating. Actually, I have to thank Breath of the Wild for because the Gerudo in Breath of the Wild use a greeting called Savak. The first time I was exposed to it was Discord's loading screens, and I thought it was a Klingon battle cry. Just because the Klingon language has a lot of those like 2 syllables with an apostrophe in the middle type words.
It's not a place. You can easily make that it's pretty easily a Klingon thing, and Hitaka forgetting there's not bookshot yet, so
you gotta climb up the long way to finish up Turtle Rock. Hitaka is convinced Turtle Rock is the play here.
And I would be convinced as well in this case.
Yeah, I mean, Ice Palace is not too bad when it comes to density at this point. It is 3 items, not particularly high density or one after the other items, but fairly easily to do Icebreaker courtesy of Kane.
I'm glad we know about Icebreaker, because this makes Ice Palace so much manageable and actually pretty much the go-to standard for Ice Palace.
Chat is sticking to Morph Ball. Someone in chat is sticking with Morph Ball on Green Pendant, which it is still entirely possible. Green Pendant is in logic now.
I mean, either way, this this morph ball position is going to be really, really bad.
I mean, this is just one item leading to the other here, because let's backpedal a little bit and just talk about how we got here. So we started off in Sphere 0 with basically Hammer and Speed Booster. That's about it. Retro Brinstar E-Tank had Flute. So that's your way up to Death Mountain. Mirror was in Hospital's Closet, so that's another Sphere 0 check. So with Hammer Mirror, you get East Death Mountain. East Death Mountain has your Gloves, Pearl, and Cane. So that's your Dark World. So you go to Dark World, you get Screw Attack in Thieves Town, right? Screw Attack was somewhere in that neck of the woods. I want to say Thieves Town. Yeah, it was in Thieves Town. It was in the attic. You use Screw Attack to go to Old Mother Brain to get your second sword. So you can go, and Book is also in, was Book in Thieves Town as well? Yeah, Book was in Thieves Town as well, I think.
It was actually in Vu, not up there. Smart Ball.
About there is Hataka's trademark Rage Bomb.
And I would not be, and I'm not, I don't feel like, and I totally understand why Hitaka feels that way, because let's be honest, this is a 1 hour and 19 minutes, almost 1 hour 20 minutes morph ball locked behind some huge by like a number of spheres.
And we could not have gotten that any sooner in the progression chain, since it was Fire Rod locked.
Yeah, and at this point, now you're going to use your power bombs. You're going to go hover to Rex ship. Actually start clearing out bosses.
Yeah, at this point...
Or at least checking one of these chests.
Yeah, at this point, even with the fact that you're now just catching up, getting the required progression items, I don't know how behind Hitaka's going to feel for this after this, but he's going to want to start hoping that stuff falls on his lap at this point, rather than have to go hunting.
Exactly, and again, it's like an hour and 20, an hour 21, and this was, and either way you looked at it, excuse me, it was going to be a really, really bad power morph ball spot.
Oh yeah,
it wasn't.
That became clear.
Everyone else is going to have to do it too.
That became clear to me as soon as A, Titan's mitts were confirmed on Ether, and B, the sword was it was Screw Attack locked. And yeah, as chat points out, we're still missing way too many things. We're still missing both suits, Ice Rod, Bow, and Hookshot. So we're missing 5 things still.
So we're not even out of the woods yet. So we're going to have to be sitting tight for this.
Oh, chat points out, yeah, one of the items in Super Metroid that we need to get was locked by Speed, the other by Screw Attack. You literally had to back and forth dip Retro Brinstar specifically for 2 items.
And yeah, I already said it already. It's a crazy logic chain that gets even more absurd as it continued.
I'm going to have to, once we're in go mode and we have a minute or two to calm down, I'm going to need a minute to write this logic chain down, because this one's worth recording. But hey, we can finally fly.
Space jump, yeah. Which is locked behind a morph ball.
Yeesh. And you know what even the even crazier thing is? Of all the things we found none of the fetch quest items. No mushroom, no shovel, no powder.
Mm-hmm. It is not fun.
I'm actually very surprised, all things considering, that those did not show up. Looks like Nito is taking that fire rod to Ice Palace, which is going to net him at the very least a crystal. But it is not, we now know that that is not the Super Metroid progression, at least that we see. We may just find Ice Rod in here, and it might end up worth it going here anyway. Because if Ice Rod were to be in here, that would actually push Nito to Turtle Rock, which would help the Morph Ball fall on his lap.
And I would imagine Nito would be even more upset, considering the up there's tempered.
Ooh, that's pretty nice. We are still also silverless. Well, we don't have a bow anyway, but we are also still silverless.
Nothing that Hitaka can't do.
Of course. But yeah, tempered sword silverless is what was I just missed what Nito picked up. Was that the burrito?
That was Graph.
It was gravity.
That was Graph.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Ice Palace is indeed a play. Only problem is by itself, it's not going to do Nito any good. There's another
Very
item.
icebreaker.
Indeed. There's the other second item in ice, and that's the heart piece. Does still SMZ3 not have... Yes, SMZ3 bows are non-progressive, so silvers and the bow are separate.
Yay, lose silvers. Something I have not seen since V30.
The good old AG arrows. I think that's our first nope tank of the night.
It has to be the first reserve.
And it is, because yeah, Hitaka's auto didn't show up until then. What is this sorcery we are seeing here? To answer your question, chat, where was Morph Ball? It was in Turtle Rock, behind the fire rod. It was behind the crystal rollers.
Just the roller room. Just the roller room itself. Crystal roller room is the one before the dark room.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, because the fire bar thingies. That's right.
There's a crystal switch in Crystal Roller Room.
That's right.
Crystal Roller Room.
The good news is, with speed, a few of the isolated checks like climb supers, waterway, those do not have to be ignored. We found our third item in ice, and it is another pack of super missiles that we really don't need at this point.
So, out of the entirety of ice, Grav is the only one that really was anything of importance.
Where was the big red cane? It was actually very early. It was in Paradox Cave.
Yeah, alongside our Dark World access with Glove and Moonpearl being in the bottom too.
Which is funny because Cane only became relevant or became useful once we got to. Actually, no, right after we got it, we could use it in Skull Woods for the that one block switch.
Which is always nice to see. I know it's nice to use that in that scenario.
But yeah, Red Cane was found long before it was hard required, yes. Meanwhile, Nidorific absolutely annihilating Cold Stare here. Wow, that was almost flawless. Got two of them.
Good fight either way. And it was Mario locked. The boss is, not the dungeon.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, we're finally going to get to see the rest of Retro Brinstar here. 3 items up for grabs here. There's the boomerang here, and then there's the 2 items in Billy Mays. So Nito was able to walk away from that dive with a gravity suit and a 3rd crystal, but is still on the look for... Nito just got shocked away from Swag Duck the moment he was about to get grabbed.
Billy Mays.
Not given a whole lot. Just some more cash, really. Looks like Nitorific's going to go and finish up Skull Woods.
Yeah, and this again is this is something that you can do with the fire rod. It's not the place it's ends up not being the spot where Nitorific needs to go. It has to go over to that roller room to get that morph ball.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
That's fine. It's fine. This could end up being a hard last location for him.
Yeah, the only upside would be is if something good came out of this. Like if this ends up being like Ice Rod, or if the last item or the green pendant ends up being Ice Rod, that'd probably be best case scenario for Nito. Worst item that could be here would be, I would say, Hookshot, because then that lets you finish up Swamp.
Sure. Like if you get Hookshot here, you're gonna be forced away from Turtle Rock, and this becomes a even worse last location for Nitorific.
All right, Hitaka, meanwhile, finishing up the Brintstar cleanup. So far, only interesting thing of note that has been found is that Tempered Sword. And Space Jump. I think our next stop is either Red Tower or Wreck Ship. Take your pick.
I would say go to Wreck Ship because you'll have a boss clear at that point.
Doesn't sound like a bad play at all. But Nitorific is going to come out of Skull Woods with the second, with the green pendant. I think he found the second item, but it was junk. Answer question, chat. Where was Morph Ball? It was in the roller room of Turtle Rock.
Nitorific got the map from out of the module, so it has to go back in.
Okay, so the second item's here in this chest. And the item is in the big chest. That, folks, is what you call insult to injury.
Yeah, and even if it is Hookshot, this becomes even worse because first of all you get the green pendant, you get the big key, which houses the last item, and if that's where the Hookshot's at, then this is that nightmare situation I was referring to.
And then, of course, there's the matter of the green pendant itself, which that's been kind of hanging over our heads ever since Fire Rod showed up. What are we looking for now? We are looking for our suits, Hookshot, that helps, bow, and Ice Rod.
That's already Charge, Ice, Spazer, and now Plasma. We're just on that Wave Beam for Quisby.
Yeah, unfortunately, the downside about Plasma is that Plasma and Spazer don't work together. And Green Pendant was just more blueberries. Well, now we know where all the blueberries were, so Hospital was holding on to them.
So yeah, now you have to go into Turtle Rock or Meyer, which take your pick.
Looks like Nido's choosing Meyer. And as Seiryu points out, yeah, Gravity was in Ice. Which I'm wondering how soon Hitaka's going to come towards that. Because the downside about being in Super Metroid so late is Hitaka's probably going to want to stick with it unless no suits show up.
And I think I would imagine Hitaka would be doing the entirety of what's available to him currently in Super Metroid, and then head over to Ice to get that grab suit.
Most likely. Because, yeah, it's not like Hitaka's going to be able to dip out at the Meridia portal and be near Ice Palace, because, unfortunately, that pretty much needs Gravity Suit.
So, down goes Phantoon for Hitaka. That will be First Blood in Super Metroid.
About time, too. It's an hour and 34 and a half minutes in. Folks, we present to you a terrible seed. Now, the biggest insult would be if there is progression on Shack Tool at this point. As if
there's progression.
Even yeah, because at this point we're already like 9 spheres in just to get Morph Ball.
Yeah, and if Shack Tool has something, and I'm going to just place down my headset and walk out of the room, and then just cry.
Chad asked, does someone handpick this seat? No, this seat was pretty much rolled right about a minute before the start time. Trust us, it was rolled randomly. All right, we're seeing Spiky Room of Death from Hitaka now. All right, Nidorific is on the way to Turtle Rock here, and we'll finally be getting that Morph Ball. Is it me, or did Samus need like an extra 2 seconds to bust out of that screw attack sound?
Yeah, and Nidorific is going to be really, really upset because this is for him, it's going to be a 1:30, an hour 37 morph ball in the spot where it's like, oh, this is gonna like where it feels really, really awful. And I kind of mentioned this before. Everyone is going to have to do this because everyone has played the same seed. This is a race after all.
All 18 participants, I should add. We have a very nice big full house tonight in the race time room. Now, Nido will have one advantage going back into Super Metroid, and that is with Gravity Suit in tow and Speed Booster, he'll be able to full clear Meridia. So I think right now, the big deciding factor on the outcome of this race is going to be dependent on what is in Meridia right now. Because this is pretty much a get-wrecked ship at the moment.
Yeah, if Nidoriffic's decision to go into Ice, this definitely feels like if Meridia does have something and Shack Tool does, if Shack Tool has something, then this is gonna feel
The pause.
That stare. The small 1,000-yard stare just from Nidourific.
I'm reminded of that sort of bartender or head waiter in Zelda Skyward Sword at the Lumpy Pumpkin. The reaction on his face when Link breaks the chandelier. That is the stare I'm thinking of right now. Can somebody explain the
Tucker heading
rules?
to.
Oh, sorry, you first.
I was gonna say Tucker heading off to the lanes. I'm trying to find some information about PVA so I can bring some interesting facts in about it.
Yeah, so chat's asking, can you explain the rules of the combo randomizer? So to win this race, they need to beat both games. They need to kill Ganon, and they need to defeat Mother Brain and escape. Depending on which order that is done is not particularly relevant. It only mildly affects the last step you have to do to finish the game. But they both runners, or all runners, I should say, cross between games. Ooh, there's Powder. Runners cross between games utilizing 4 special cross-game portal doors, which are basically doors that are normally leading to junk areas of either game that are replaced. Instead, they are now portals that let you switch games. And the reason this is even possible is basically because both these games use separate partitions of the Super Nintendo's RAM. Therefore, they can coexist without the Super Nintendo throwing a hissy fit and crashing.
Technical information that I myself do not understand, and if I try to explain it, I'm going to fumble over my words endlessly.
Yeah, no, it's an incredible feat of technical engineering to be able to pull this off, and really, you can only pull this off with older games from the Super Nintendo because of that, half partition memory usage mumbo jumbo. Because I don't think you can get away with this for GameCube. Can you imagine if there was a Breath of the Wild Prime 4 combo randomizer? If you tried to switch to Prime 4, you'd probably trigger a panic, Blood Moon.
Even then, Prime 4's not even out.
Well, Nintendo's Direct is tomorrow midday at noon Eastern.
Yeah, that's true.
I think a lot of us are hoping to hear something from Prime 4 tomorrow if we're in the Prime fan base. What about seed logic? It does take the transitions into both games into account, but for the most part, it runs on... For this seed, it is running on the normal difficulty logic for both games when it comes to tricks required. The only difference is, like we said before, that cross-game portal transitions are taken into account. There is a hard mode, which only affects the Super Metroid trick logic. That's about it. Which I do believe we have ongoing qualifier rounds for a hard co-op tournament in the works.
Yeah, the first qualifier ended yesterday, and there's going to be a total of 16 who want to just get their team out and just play some rando and hope it doesn't troll and such.
I mean, do you see what is happening with this seed? It is trolling hard.
Yeah, but this is now it's not wire. It's not wire. And yeah, that's also it's on normal.
Fair enough. All right, we're seeing Laser Bridge from Nidourific. This is the last check in Total Rock that he's able to do before calling it a dive, and it is probably the second most useless item at this point.
Yeah, with the knowledge that Quake was both required for Mire and Turtle Rock, it's only just as a screen nuke.
It's yeah, basically. So, yep, Ice Rod is not also chilling in Turtle Rock. But yeah, Nito's just now entering Super Metroid, and we're going to see what his play is. Oh, there's Various Suit in Red Tower. Well, Hitaka ain't going anywhere towards that gravity suit anytime soon now. Not with this in tow.
And that means this is a North Fair dive.
Yeah, now, here's the thing for Hitaka's case. Hitaka will most likely do Suitless Meridia for Dragon if and only if Bow, Ice Rod, and Hookshot show up. Because we still haven't seen Kraid's Lair or pretty much any other part of Norfair outside the business center. So there are still a lot of possibilities for extra stuff to show up, but I don't think Hitaka is going to skip Gravity Suit unless all remaining items show up first.
Approaching that rapidly as we speak.
First item in Kraid's Lair, the Single Arrow of Destiny.
Okay, a Kraid fight. Quick kill or prom? It's a quick kill.
Yeah, I think Hitaka's pretty much done with this seed.
Yeah. If I would imagine if like Hitaka had gone onto the prom, it would be like of all the things that could also be this he could go wrong is a prom fight. I mean, no disrespect towards Hitaka nor Nidorific. They've been powering through this like troopers, and they definitely deserve your follow. Go follow them. They are putting on an excellent show in what it has been a very, very bad seed.
A total train wreck, if I may say. We see,
for sure.
To answer a question, chat, Retro Bridge Ceiling E-Tank was Flute. It was already in the logic chain way earlier. It was a Sphere 2 Flute, basically. Sphere 1, excuse me. Sphere 1 Flute. The runners basically had to double dip Retro Bryn Star. First, after picking up Speed, they had to double dip Retro Bryn to pick up Flute in the E-Tank. Then they had to dip it Retro Bryn again to go to Old Mother Brain after picking up Screw Attack so they can get Master Sword so they can get Titans off Ether Tablet. Again, I'm going to write this all down before we're done tonight.
Yeah, this is going to be a logic chain for the books. It's going to be so long that it's going to be like chess notation. Right now, these random stuff that to those looking in, it's like what is that supposed to mean? What is it? What is a queen to b3 or a bishop g1 check? Watching a lot of chess as of late. If you can tell from that.
I'm sorry, say again?
A lot of chess as of late, so if you couldn't tell by that.
Oh, fair enough, yeah. I used to like chess as a kid. I used to read an instruction manual for it all the time. Alright, so Hitaka's actually returned to to A Link to the Past to finish up Hera and Total Rock, I assume. At least finish up Hera. Maybe he dips ice before returning to Super Metroid? We'll see. If that does end up being the case, Hitaka will be put back onto equal footing with Nidorific, but at the same time, Nidorific still has to basically full clear. We assume Nito's going to full clear everything Hitaka's cleared at this point. Because while we know that Various Suit is in Red Tower and that Meridia is wide open, there's still way too much before that, and especially if you're in the situation you're in now where you still have way too much to look for, you're not going to pass up any major areas. At least I don't think. I mean, we've been surprised by runners many a times.
Yeah, from speaking of my own perspective, from a personal perspective, Razor, like the runners can do like all sorts of crazy things. Like just recently on the Link to the Past side, they just discovered a way to get out of hammer pegs from well, with mitzless. So that's always a pretty cool thing to look at. It's also race legal too.
Oh, wow.
I actually saw Hitaka do that one while we were setting it up as well.
I did not catch that. Interesting.
It's cool.
Mitzless hammer
It's a
pegs.
fun one. I've done it before. It's actually it's actually not that hard.
And you know, funny that actually wouldn't have done us that many favors because we'd still need mitts for Turtle Rock access anyway. Who's leading at the moment? It's really tough to say because on one end, Hitaka found Morph Ball much earlier than Nidorific did, but on the other end of the spectrum, Nidorific has Gravity Suit, and if there ends up being progression in Meridian, Nido's going to pull ahead, so it's really still too early to say. Chad is absolutely winning.
Yeah, this is a seed that that can only be dreamed up by chat members. And Hitaka has gotten the second crystal in the first 5-6.
Where was the first sword we picked up? It was in Hype Cave.
Yes, it was Hype Cave. I completely forgot we actually have hype jump boots. It was so early in the seed that I completely forgot to mark those.
I didn't see those either. Where did high jump boots show up?
Wasn't no wait there never mind. Oh no I spent them around. I said you said like the boots of Super Metroid. You meant to
Oh, no, I
Speed
was talking
Booster.
about Speed Booster, yeah.
Right. That's my bad. I thought we had high jump earlier.
To answer a question in chat, Hitaka basically has already full cleared Brintstar and Kraid's Lair and Rex Ship. So right now, Nido's not checking anything that we have not already seen. And won't be unless he decides to make a very sharp turn to Meridia. Where was Book again?
Book was. It was in. I think it was in Skull Woods. Or no, it was Thieves Town. It was Thieves Town.
It was Thieves Town.
No. Not even Thieves Town. It was in Village of Outcasts. C-shaped house.
C-shaped house. That's right. I didn't see what that was in Showcase Showdown.
I didn't see either. Or it was whatever it was. Yeah, we didn't. We don't know. We probably won't. Probably wasn't out then.
Chat saying it's supers. Okay, thank you, chat. All right, so I've written down what I think I have correctly as the logic chain so far to this point. So feel free to correct me if I've got any errors, because I want to make sure I get this right for the interview. Our sphere 0 was speed, mirror, and hammer, because hammer was in the dam, mirror was in Sahasra's closet, speed was in blindside. Speed leads to flute. Flute takes us to half magic. Flute takes us to Death Mountain, where we get Flute, Hammer, and Mirror take us to Death Mountain, where we get Glove and Pearl and Cane. Actually, let me write that down. In Hype Cave, we get our first sword and screw attack and book in Thieves Town / Village of Outcasts. From there, we go to take the screw attack to get the sword, the second sword in Old Mother Brain, and get the flippers out of Desert from the book and the mirror. Second sword leads us to Ether Tablet so we can get Titan's Mitts, which leads to Fire Rod and Hammer Pegs, which leads to Morph Ball in Turtle Rock, Gravity in Ice Palace, and Varia in Red Tower. That's where we stand right now. We are currently sphere-wise. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Mirror Shield. That's not something. All 3 shields were like almost not one right after the other, but they were pretty quick.
Yeah, Mirror Shield's not bad.
But yeah, I think we're on sphere 8 right now is where Morph, Gravity, and Varia come in.
I haven't really been following the spheres, so I'm going to assume yes.
Yeah, I might have a couple of minor details missed out, but I think we're good for now. All right, we're gonna get to see a Ridley fight now. Plenty of ammunition for this fight, given that we now currently have 55 super missiles. Where was Varia? It was in Charge Beam. Not Charge Beam, Spazer. Excuse me.
For Nidoриfic, out in Rex Ship.
It was Spazer, okay. Yeah, I said Spazer, that's right. To answer your question, Chad, a sphere is a term we use in the randomizer community where Sphere 0 is essentially the start of the game. It's like the areas you can access in the game with absolutely zero equipment. By getting your first progression item, you accelerate to the next sphere, where you can check the next set of items available presented by that first progression item. And every item after the other is essentially more spheres in the logic chain. Right now, we're on an 8-sphere chain, which is very, very bad. Granted, I've seen like a 13-item chain plus chain in Majora's Mask Randomizer, but 8 is still not good. Under ideal circumstances, also Ridley got utterly annihilated there by Hitaka. But yeah, the silliest thing of all this is we still need 3 Link to the Past items. We're good on Super Metroid now. Technically, we are in Super Metroid No mode. But for Link to the Past, we are still looking for Bow, Ice Rod, and Hookshot, and there is no way we're skipping those.
Yeah, and considering that the insane spheres to get to this point, this definitely is not one for. This is definitely one that will probably be forgotten by a lot of people, by most of the runners, because this is so bad.
Forgotten by the runners, adored by the comment section of the VOD.
Yes, for sure.
Oh, there's Cape. Unfortunately, the only thing that gets us is red mail. Not really going to do us any good. Meanwhile, just super missiles in jail, which we, again, really do not need anymore.
We're pretty much all covered in terms of the supers.
Oh, hey, everybody give a wave for the wave beam.
Crispy.
We are full Quispy. Which, it's not early in the game, but it's good to pick that up at least with one boss kill still left on your to-do list. But yeah, the Three Musketeers, absolute cakewalk with Screw Attack in tow. Now, we might be coming up to a moment of truth here. We'll see if Nidourific chooses to go to Meridia following this Get Wreck Ship clear. Because there really was nothing in Wreck Ship, right? Yeah, no, there was absolutely nothing.
Save for the plasma, but it's just a
right.
beam.
Hard required, yeah, there was nothing. Plasma was nice. And powder was in here too, which we don't know what that leads to yet. It is entirely possible powder could be Ice Rod. Or it could be anything that we're still looking for. There's the other green rupee, by the way.
Out the Bubble Mountain.
Yeah, this is a late Bubble Mountain we're seeing here. Even more energy.
And a piece of heart to back that up.
And Hitaka says, no thank you to both. I guess the next $1 million question is, what is in Meridia? Because, yeah, if anybody did take that gravity suit and go to Meridia right after, we could be looking at some very wide variations in the race time finishes here.
There's a blue cane, so that's a thing.
Yeah, it's a little late for that, unfortunately. We've already seen Spike Cave. That was, if I'm not mistaken, a... was it? No, it wasn't a bottle. It was junk, I think.
It had to be junk.
Looks like more money down in the cathedral. Yeah, money is absolutely a non-requirement at this point. We are good. We got scammed by Zora and everything. At which point, that was when we really started questioning what was going on with this seed.
And in the middle, we forgot about a retro mother brain because we thought Zora was the answer, which it wasn't.
Anyone know how to minimize chat window on mobile? Usually it's double tap the screen side of the thing. The screen side of the player.
When you're in like full screen mode, yeah.
You also may have to tap the little speech bubble with the 2 dots. You're welcome. All right, what's down here below Ice Beam? Ice Beam itself had nothing. Crumble Tower has blueberries. And I think we're going to Croc.
Yeah, this has to be a Croc play after this. This will end the. This should, I believe, end the entire run through North Air.
After that, though, Hitaka will be out of options, so we'll probably be heading back to A Link to the Past to finish up. Oh, Hitaka having some fun with Grapple Beam again.
That I've never seen before. That's actually pretty funny.
Grapple Beam does some weird things with Crocamire's legs. For one thing, the legs are a target. For another, it causes some misplaced sprite issues.
I could tell from the little tongue, just being like, it's like, nope, I'm out of here. I'm tired of this seat myself.
Alright, I'm a head out.
just like SpongeBob just gets out of his chair, just like, yep, I'm out of here.
Exit stage right. Oh wait, there's no stage. All right, Nito is checking not grapple, X-ray, excuse me. Getting my rooms mixed up, and I thought Prime 1 was the game I would be doing that a lot in. Oh hey, we can microwave.
Speaking of X-ray scope.
Ask and thy shall receive. We're having too much fun with this seed.
You have an awful seed like this, you have to make your own fun.
Indeed. And there's our bow. It is about time. Always bet on Croc, folks, especially when you're 3 items from go mode and you haven't been able to access this area for 2 hours.
The bottle for good measure, too.
The extra bottle will be nice. That's Hitaka's 3rd bottle, I believe.
Should be, yeah.
Neaterific about to pick up Varia. Almost looked the wrong way for a split second there. I was like, yeah, this ain't important. Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. Nope, you're gonna get that Varia whether you like it or not.
So that puts for us Armos Knights, Pyramid Fairy by extension, and Pod. We can finish up Pod now.
And the Pyramid Fairy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is ridiculous. Okay, so Varia led to Bow. Let me just write that down. Meanwhile, Nito is in Meridia. So, the good news is Hitaka's not going to be too punished for leaving Gravity behind, because we now know Nito has to go down to Croc anyway to pick up Bow. So, Nito's going to do some Norfair work before getting that. But I think...
Yeah, and
I think Hitaka's going to do all the Bowlock dungeons and Pyramid Fairy first, then do Ice. Most likely.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because I was going to mention that. Because you're going to be heading into you're doing your potty. You're going to be doing 2 crystals here. After that, you're going to get whatever is in Pyramid Fairy, and then when you're done with, and then maybe when you're done with that, you're going to have to do Ice to get to your Grav. And if you really wanted to, especially if you really wanted to, you could just flute over to 4, take or 3 to 4, yeah, take the long way over to the dark shopping mall and go into Meridia from there.
I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see that, given the circumstances, because, yeah, I suspect Tataka's not going to try and transition too many more times to Super Metroid before picking up another progression item. I think Hataka, because Hataka's now basically full cleared everything not gravity locked. Also, it should be noted, Chad pointed this out as well, but Neorific found the shovel at Mama Turtle. So Meridia actually might have something important already. But the beach and the watering hole were empty. The good news is, because Hataka's already been through here, he can just yeet himself straight over to Helmasaur King.
And that big key spot's actually really nice, so you can actually get to Helma right away.
Yeah, at this point, we're in a pretty good defensive stance with, you know, upwards of 12+ hearts plus blue mail. I don't think bosses are at this much really a point of concern, especially since there's another energy tank in an aqueduct with the ice rod. There you go. Gravity suits needed for ice rod. So we are looking for hookshot go mode, and there are unfortunately a lot of places that can translate to.
It could be Meridia. It could be Shaktool.
I think
don't.
You were saying?
It's Trinax.
The only place it pretty much can't be is in... Oh. Well, there it is. Left side sand pit.
Yeah.
I do believe this puts us, the audience, in no mode. That is everything we have been looking for on our shopping list.
So all Hitaka really needs to do is, well, get this these clears out of the way. Here's high jump boots for good measure. Now for real this time.
It looks like there wasn't anything in the right sand pit. Alright, so unfortunately now we know Shaktool's dead. Nito's gonna check it anyway, but we know it's dead. Be hilarious if it had bombs, though. Although I don't think, you can't check this without bombs or spring ball, right? Oh no, wait, that's only for Suitless Meridia.
Suitless Meridia, because if it was hard mode and that was if Suitless Meridia was required again, like not Shakaturo Pearl requiring being Suitless Meridia required in a hard logic save for one of my first outings.
That was, if I recall correctly, it was either October or November in 2018, I want to say. 18 or 19.
It had been 19. I wasn't around like in 18.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I remember that so well, because that was just so... It didn't help that Suitless Meridia was required for the beginning, but Shaktool having Moon Pearl is not something you want to see. It's like almost the equivalent of Morph Ball being in Total Rock, case in point tonight.
And it was even funnier considering that Hookshot was on pad.
And Shaktool was garbage.
I remember that part too. Hookshot was on pad that seed.
It was, that's right. Literally, the only thing stopping it from being the hat trick was no Aga 1, I don't think.
It had to been, yeah.
To answer your question, Chad, Bo is behind Crocomire on, I want to say, Grapple Beam.
So good thing about this is that, and again, like I mentioned this before, Hitaka once he's done with Pod Eastern, which will be pretty soon. And after the Pyramid Fairy, it's going to go ahead and I would imagine going over to it's going to go ahead and head over to Meridia through the Dark Shopping Mall. That's what my ideal situation is.
Yeah, I think we'll get an idea of whose race this will go to once we see Hitaka enter Meridia. And if by that point Nito is not near Variasuit, I think we'll be able to call it from there. But it's still, given that it's still a little far out before that might happen, it's still really either of these two's race.
Yeah, and so yeah, we're gonna see the Pyramid Fairy come out. This is perfectly fine for being in Go -1. And then I'm hoping Hitaka will head over. We'll just go from the Pyramid Fairy and head straight over to the Dark Shopping Mall because that is the cross game portal to Meridia.
Yeah, and I think the item density is definitely in Ice Palace at this point for Hitaka because while he has not yet completed Skull Woods, he's already gotten one item, so it would only be one item plus the green pendant, and we already know Ped's dead, so Hitaka really should be more compelled. I would assume Hitaka would be more compelled to go into Ice Palace after this check. It'd be a bit of a walk, but otherwise not too bad. I'm also amazed this bomb does not deal friendly fire damage. I was also half expecting either Buttersword or Silvers to be in here.
That would be amazing. Okay, so this is gonna be a mirror out.
Flute to 8 would be my guess.
You can't really flute to 8 in this situation. Well, yeah, you're gonna go ice here. That's fine. Yeah, because you need the grab suit anyway.
Yeah, this is really, besides Skullwoods, the only thing Hitaka can do.
Yeah, and this does lead him into the right spot. Also, there's our quick kill over on Nudovic's side.
All right, so yeah, nice, easy. The boss is, well, thankfully, as a result of pretty much having a full armament before even getting to Super Metroid in the first place, the bosses are not that much of a challenge tonight.
Yeah, and yeah, I just at this point you go ahead and you're gonna be clearing this now. Get your grab suit here, and then after that you probably are gonna be 3 to 4 to go over to the Dark Shopping Mall. Or I think you can also go through Super Metroid, which I believe it's a little bit slower to go that way.
I think either or. There's not a huge. It also the direction of which Hitaka enters will actually make quite the difference here because we know that neither of the remaining 2 items are in the backside of Meridia. They're both near the entrance in the sand pits.
Yeah, and either way, both runners have to clear Dragon.
Exactly. So yeah, it's going to depend on which direction Hitaka chooses to enter from. If Hitaka does enter Meridia from the front, that would be best case scenario for him. Regardless, though, he is going to come across that Ice Rod and Hookshot in Meridia relatively soon.
And because that's your only way to go, especially when you're in a situation where you're go -1. Now especially you're go -1 because before Hitaka went in, it was go -2 just because of the grab suit and that leads, and then after that you probably don't. You're for sure not going to go into Skull Woods. You know Pet's dead, so you don't have to clear that if you wanted to, unless you really are gambling on the green pendant, which we know it's not anything. Best case scenario is the way I kind of described it: just going to 4, then going to Dark Shopping Mall, heading to Meridia.
With all that we have seen, I'm actually curious to know how many useful offensive items are going to be in GT, because the remaining offensive items on our list are butter swords, silvers, and morph ball bombs, basically. So I'm curious, and the mushroom has a unique item at the very least, and ether, actually. So I'm curious how many of those 5 are in GT. I'm going to guess 2, at least. I assume that silvers are probably in there by now.
Yeah, because they're always in GT.
They are very frequently in GT in these seeds.
It's even worse in Z3 Rando, where B31 somehow likes to put that in, put the other bow in GT for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm. Luckily, with half magic, this cold stare fight will be a cakewalk. Unfortunately, Hitaka let the puffs get away, and is going to have to do a little bit of dancing here. Also, not looking brilliant on health.
With blue mail, this shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, that's just keep your distance, and that'll be good.
Pretty much. Keep your distance, watch for the ice ceiling, and that's about it.
Oh, Nidovific is on Croc.
Ooh, Nito's actually, you know something, Nito's in a position to actually, I wouldn't say spring ahead just because of the, Nito is still down 2 crystals by comparison to Hitaka, but they are relatively fast crystals. But Nito's in position to enter go mode at a much greater pace here. Hitaka has fluted to 7.
To go up to get the mirror pearl. Either one works. Either one works.
Okay, so this is a Meridia play. So Hitaka's going to go from the back.
Yeah, because this has, because at this point you either do it or you do swamp. I would imagine Hitaka would not be doing swamp here because well, for one thing, you're going to be kicked out. This will be a double dip for Hitaka if it does that. But yeah, this is exactly what I was intending for Hitaka to do. You go ahead, because you're going to be heading from the back into Meridia. As your other way of getting into Meridia, and I believe it's the fastest way of doing it.
Yeah, it's going to put Meridia or Hitaka closer to the Dragon side of Meridia, so it is going to unfortunately not be the section that contains the Ice Rod and Hookshot just yet. But yeah, like we said before, Hitaka is going to come across it. Does have a few extra minutes to work with, courtesy of already completing Pod and Eastern.
Yeah, I would say that Hitaka has the advantage as soon as the Hookshot comes out. Just because, for one thing, Hitaka will be clearing out Dragon. One thing. Second of all, as you mentioned, 2 crystals are already in play. But
right,
the Horrific will be the first one in go mode.
Yeah, right now Nito has just entered go mode at 2:22:12. Something else Nito actually has an advantage on is he has already been through Laser Bridge in Total Rock, so it's not going to save him a tremendous amount of time, but it is going to reduce the time of the remaining Total Rock clear significantly. Granted, Hitaka will go mode TR as well.
Yeah, so Hitaka is going to quickly go in, just wait out this Keiko love sequence, and then fight Dragon.
And I actually just realized, on the Super Metroid side, Nidorific is also down 2 bosses, while Hitaka is going to be up 2. So actually, Hitaka has a significant amount of extra time on the on that end, just because of the didn't quite leave the microwave on long enough. Don't you hate it when you have to stop and hit the add 30 seconds button again?
Yeah, that one always did. I don't usually get that, but it does. It's not fun. Right, that is all bosses for Hitaka. Ooh. And silver arrows to boot. Okay,
that's a pretty fair reward. Those probably would have been nice to have about 20 minutes ago in Hitaka's case. All right, let's see how Nidorific chooses to handle this. It looks like he's going to do Pod Eastern first. I think he's actually just going to go ahead and finish up A Link to the Past now.
You may as well do this while you're already in go mode. While Hitaka is going to be heading towards the hookshot location here.
Yeah, I would imagine he'll check Aqueduct first, since it's easier to route in and then get out. That was a hard piece. At this point, though, any items we do see aren't going to carry too much significance. We might find Butter Sword, but the attack increase by comparison to Tempered is not as major.
When we're talking the silverless fights, it's very marginal compared to Tempered and Gold.
All right, that's going to be Hitaka's Ice Rod, and now it's a question of left or right. We know the answer tonight is left. And Hitaka chooses correctly.
Hitaka will get the hook shot here, and that will put Hitaka in go mode, and actually in a much better state. And like I said, I would imagine this is Hitaka having the lead here.
Yeah, I would agree, because again, Hitaka's currently up. This is going to be a bit of a pain in the backside without bombs or spring ball, but gets it nonetheless. And that is go mode for Hitaka at 225.28. But yeah, Hitaka's right now up 4 bosses on Nidorific. So just clearing out more of Super Metroid before entering go mode has... I would say it is... I would agree with your assessment that it is Hitaka's race to lose at this point.
Yeah, because because of this, it's just that situation where Hitaka, the way he routed it, definitely is the correct choice. In that state where Hitaka's equipment at that point, and considering the amount of bosses that he's already done, as opposed to where Nito only did Fantoon and Kraid after getting the morph ball. It's just a matter of numbers, really.
Indeed. Yeah, Nito was also much later to morph ball by comparison to Hitaka, and another thing Chad points out is that Nito elected to not go to Dragon after finishing up Meridia, probably because Ice Palace was already done, so it wouldn't be that convenient getting back to A Link to the Past in that scenario, but yeah, still I would say that's probably a good question for the interview, because yeah, both these runners have played quite spectacularly tonight, despite this ridiculous item chain for a morph ball.
Yeah, and again, and I mentioned this before, they're both great runners, and it is only 2 out of the 18 runners that we have in the pool for tonight. Just you want to just give, and again, I implore you to give these 2 a follow, because they're sticking it out. They're in here for the long run, and they are excellent runners in their own right. Of course, as always, if you like what you're hearing as well, give the crew a follow. Myself and Captain MT13. I am the one Professor Renderer. This person that just talks into a mic for like 2 hours or so.
Yeah, we're kind of dual rolling tonight. We're a tad bit short-staffed, but we're making it work.
I don't usually like track and calm at the same time, but we're making it work though.
Indeed.
Just noticed that never got tempered. Might as well update that while I'm here. There we go.
Oops, Hitaka forgot to get the key before bombing the door. Although I would imagine, yeah, Hitaka, like we said, left a trademark rage bomb already at the morph ball chest.
Yeah, it's and I totally understand. I totally understand it. The logic chain that led to that morph ball is behind 9 spheres. It's not a fun spot to consider. Like, it's not a fun place to find that morph ball, especially in that amount of spheres.
Yeah. Luckily, Hitaka's one of Hitaka's remaining go mode dungeons is Swamp, which is a very fast go mode. Swamp and Ice are probably the 2 best go mode dungeons out there. Next to late game dungeons, I should stress. Eastern's also pretty fast. Actually, all the light world dungeons are pretty fast. Desert, not so much, but Eastern and Hare are pretty much a cakewalk if you're in go mode.
Yeah, and I'm considering too that with things like Diver Down and Icebreaker to make those dungeons a lot more faster compared to doing it originally, it's even more. That definitely bumps up their go mode dungeon potential, being to the stratosphere.
Indeed. That'd be a great Zelda space game. Legend of Zelda: Light of the Nebula.
Anyway, we're on the Argus fight for Hitaka. Swamp up there, Argus was having a little bit of trouble trying to go down here with the positioning of his bouncing is pretty much the equivalent of trying to shoot an arrow at a DVD screensaver.
Does the DVD screensaver really go that fast? I guess fair enough. If you set it fast enough, it could.
I mean, there is a DVD screensaver plugin on OBS that you can set it to be that fast as well.
Yeah, I'm actually reminded of the old Windows screensavers. I used to have some fun with those back in the day on my homeroom teacher's computer, and I would have some fun with the screensaver, just setting the speed. And I was very fascinated. It was with her permission, I should stress. But we had some. I had some fun making all the things go at the maximum possible speed. But the thing I loved the most was the 3D maze.
I was going to mention that, and I was going to mention that after you were going to say that 3D maze is that just oozes nostalgia for me.
It does. Same here.
Nothing else to talk about while we're in go mode here. Like I said, considering that Hitaka is going to be entering Turtle Rock here and in GT with only with all the bosses cleared out, like I mentioned, this is all Hitaka at this point.
Yeah, it's actually way more significant than I thought initially, just because of how fast Hitaka found Morph Ball by comparison to Nito. I think Nito's I wouldn't say big mistake per se, but Nito's choices to go to Swamp and Skull Woods before dipping Turtle Rock post Fire Rod, ended up burning the majority of his extra time.
Yeah, it was just the timing of that morph ball that pretty much has it in this scenario where Hitaka is already clearing out as in Turtle Rock, despite the fact that Nidorepic has already been through Laser Bridge. And but the extra thing about it too is that because he's got half magic advantage as well. Since considering that this dungeon is actually I believe you can get 2 keys from here. You don't have to worry about going to Laser Bridge at that point for Hitaka.
Yeah, I don't think the key logic has been that great though so far, so I think Itaka is going to have to check this chest and probably get the chest on get the key on Laser Bridge. Oh, the big key was vanilla anyway, so. Actually, you know what? We should probably start the big key guessing game now, since it's not going to be long between Turtle Rock and GT for Hitaka.
Yeah, so there are a total of 21 chests and a single torch to make up a total of 22 possible locations within the basement of Ganon's tower. And one of those has that big key. So from 1 to 22, go ahead and put your guesses in chat where you think that might be. I'm going to go ahead and say 13. Unlucky 13.
I'm going to go with 9 to go with the number of spheres that were crazy this seed. After the 9th sphere, it kind of cooled off a little. Excuse me for a moment.
Okay, so we have Swamp cleared from Neaterific. Heading into Meridia. Go ahead and clear Dragon. We'll also have to go ahead and need to clear Ridley. In addition, Neaterific is bringing out on the Keiko Love sequence. I say that because they act the little shrimp things. I know they have a name, but I can't forget. I keep forgetting it each time I say it. They spell Keiko Love because some programmer actually decided to put that in for the surprise his girlfriend at the time. So it's such a cute story too. Nonetheless, also missing the one cycle microwave fight, has to do it again. But they get straight down anyway. Hitaka is heading into Trimax. Now, I'm hoping he does backdoor strats, because realistically, I've been actually practicing backdoor strats myself. Gold Sword, trying to get Zero Circle. Okay, it's just gonna do the normal way. Alright, fair enough. But I've been practicing it myself, and timing on that is so tight. Tighter than I thought it was.
I assume backdoor. When you mean backdoor, you mean like shoot the heads from behind.
Yes.
Also, chat pointing out, Nito apparently did not pick up silvers after killing Dragon. So that's going to be a significant firepower reduction for the Ganon fight.
It's going to be 12 spins as opposed to 4 arrow shots.
Yeah, and unfortunately, with 2, maybe 3 spins per cycle, it's going to take a minute. But that is crystal number 7 for Hitaka, who will now yeet straight to GT.
And Neaterific is heading into Lower North there, so it's going to go ahead and clear out Redley here. And then for sure, I would imagine Neaterific is going to be heading over to Charter Rock.
All things considering, this finish is probably not going to be too far beyond the 3-hour mark, maybe even less, actually.
Yeah, which is unusual for a normal logic seed, especially when you consider how bad the morph ball spears were.
I think what helped was that after morph ball, things immediately find spring ball.
1 and 2.
But yeah, no, immediately. Oh, we should probably. Yeah, just cut off the GT guessing game before too long goes by. But yeah, with I had a sentence in my head and I've now lost it.
You hate when that happens, honestly. You have a thought and then just goes away. Anyway, 3 through 6 here.
Ganon hoarding more blueberries too. What is it with the citizens of Hyrule holding all the blueberries? This is what
They just don't want their. They just don't want their stuff to be. They just want their balls to be blown open by a bunch of elf people.
See, Link, this is what
AKA
happens when
Link.
you waste food.
Oh, nice.
It's on the torch, number 7. And that means that the title of Big Key Guessing Game winner tonight goes to Seafoam Smiles, who guessed 7 on the dot.
And like literally, Seafoam Smiles just says nice. so yay, you win internet points. If it was Sauce Robot and it was still working, you would probably get some points for Sauce Robot on the leaderboard. But but that's not the case because this is a community race. So
I think actually, I think I don't have the ability to do this, but I think I've seen predictions be used to indicate what to guess whether or not the big key will show up on the first 11 or the last 11.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it too. It was on the main tournament. I wish I had access to it, but that's for chat mods.
Another time, perhaps.
Those are fun. I like using the predictions. I like using channel point predictions. They're actually I like playing along with them. They're actually legitimately a lot of fun.
And really goes down
for
the
horrific side. Same thought.
Yep. I'd say you owe me a soda, but I already have one next to me. Need a little extra caffeine to deal with that whole ball shenanigans.
No, it's fine. I could just grab some Angry Orchard out of my fridge right now. No, I wouldn't because it's like late over here.
But yeah, so it turned out diving a pendant dungeon was actually not necessary. Because did Desert have anything useful? It had like stuff in it, but
It had a lamp.
That's right. Was that needed for Fire Rod? No, it wasn't. You could get away without it.
Yeah. It did have a first fire source, so you can clear Moldorm from that.
That's true. Yeah, it was needed for it was needed for dark rooms and whatnot, but that's about it.
Just that, dark rooms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could have gotten away without it until Fire Rod. All right, Neaterific, meanwhile, is just going backwards through Coliseum to, not Coliseum, Amphitheater, excuse me, to get out of Norfair.
Yeah, because all Nito has to really do is just get back to where Myers at to go ahead and mirror out, and then float over to 1 to get to Turtle Rock and GT, and if this wouldn't matter, but. This won't matter, but if Nito ever chose to go left, get the big key from the torch, get a small key from the next room following that, and you're off to GT, and boom, goes the dynamite.
Yeah, it's funny that we never do use dynamite in the Zelda series, do we? It's always just bombs or bomb flowers.
I mean, to be fair, they're both explosives.
That is true. I gotta imagine Samus's morph ball bombs also are partially made of dynamite, too.
Moldorm 2's down, and for good show, it's going to go ahead and pull Moldorm 2. Just why not? Why not?
All right, Aghanim's second battle here, and this pattern looks like garbage. This one looks a lot better.
Yeah, but that one left Aghanim wasn't in the right spot, but there's a double right there. That's always fine.
All right, so that's a 0, 1, 2, 2, and then this will be a 1.
Not bad.
Yeah, not brilliant, but it'll do. All right, what does Ganon have to say for us tonight? Something about deja vu, but we're not driving any cars. Eurobeat intensifies.
We're not even trying. We're not even in Okinawa. No, we're not even in Japan. No less. This is Hyrule.
Wait, Link does ride a motorcycle in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, but that's like after the entire timeline gets like essentially retconned and makes their own story.
Fair, but still, he does drive a motorcycle.
The whole timeline is really weird, and I don't know, and I don't want to read it because it's gonna be too confusing.
Did you find the arrows in Meridia? Ganon asks. Hitaka responds by sending one directly to the chest.
It's like, what do you think? Shoots an arrow in the head.
Ooh.
Takes an arrow to the knee, and triple to end it off. Single G in the chat.
Well played.
Face, an arrow to the chest, an arrow to the arm, and an arrow to the knee.
Well, now it's just a run down to Mother Brain as Nidorific cleans up Turtle Rock here and goes to Trinex. All right. Trinex goes into phase 2 for Nidorific, and Hitaka enters Torian.
And down goes Trinex for Nidorific.
I imagine we'll see an attempt at a baby skip here from Hitaka. All beams, way too much energy for this way too much energy to lose a lot of time when getting grabbed.
Yeah, this will be. This is totally fine. Totally justifiable if Hitaka does do stand up here.
Oh, stand up, no doubt. I think we're gonna see stand up for sure.
Not stand up, baby skip. That's I got the two mixed up. I was gonna say stand up after baby skip, but that wasn't the case.
And what you really don't want to have happen is on the lower rotation for the baby to make a sharp left turn, because if that happens, you're basically going to get snagged. but
Baby escape.
speeds. Well done. I've also seen Baby Metroid speed as a crowd control limitation. I did see that the SG Live crowd control the other. Was it SG Live? No, it wasn't SG Live. It was semi-recently there was an SMZ3 crowd control here.
I want to say it was for No Kid Hungry.
That's the one. It's like it was a special event. It was for charity. I just can't remember which one.
No Kid Hungry. Archipelago. The one with like the Pass Factorio. That's Zepscape,
okay.
by the way, from Hitaka.
Yeah, Taka making mincemeat of these final moments here. Meanwhile, Nidorific climbing up GT. I would assume took a similar route that Hitaka did. In terms of getting key as number 7. Oh, chat's saying Nito actually went left first. Okay. Oh, so he got the key immediately.
Yeah, that was actually what I was hoping, because it does save time, but in this case, since Hitaka is so far ahead in the lead, that I don't. It's just simple stuff. Going for stand up.
Well, looks like he's got the energy drain correct. Now he just needs to not be on the ground for a bit. It's when the Baby Metroid latches, and I think when he takes off. That's the trigger. The two triggers to check for the ground. But with X-ray scope, you can cancel it if necessary. Kataga actually still has missiles in reserve. Because he had so many and only got hit by one rainbow beam. Well, Itaka's been nailing the vast majority of those shots.
Yeah, this is definitely a great fight for Hitaka. Down goes the baby, has the rainbow beam ready to go. Just gotta fire that shot, and boom goes the dynamite again.
I think it's only gonna be 2 shots. Okay, it was 4, but still, only 4 hyper shots. That's great.
Yeah, that's still good. That's still a respectable amount of hyper beam shots. Just it's so quick that you don't really need to worry about it. Now just escape from Planet Zebes and just we'll be done here with this quite a mess of a logic chain for just a single morph ball. The rest ended up being okay though.
If you thought Spirit Tracks was a train wreck, no, this seed was a pretty bad train wreck. I kid. Spirit Tracks isn't really a train wreck.
Yeah, Spirit Tracks is an interesting game. Never played it, but I know it was pretty interesting.
Same. I just wanted to use a train joke.
And
I mean, the seed's logic was off the rails.
Yeah, so much so that what's next? A yellow bird in a conductor's outfit just starts filming a movie in there. Play Hat in Time, but you should play Hat in Time, and I prove it because this is one of the best indie games of 2019 or 2017 rather. I'm trying not to be serious here. Just I'm trying to be as serious as I can with this mess. So anyway, GG to the chat for Hitaka. It's going to finish first on our restream with a time of I don't have the race time of
I do. It's 2:53:23 is going to be the official race time. That is good, not only for first on Restream, but first place overall. So despite
Really now?
despite everything that's happened, Hitaka takes first place tonight amongst the 18-member pool in this race time room. Well played, Hitaka.
Well, there you go. And speaking of Ataka, here he is, GG.
Hey, GG.
Well played, getting first considering everything that happened.
Yeah, thanks. That was, I hope you guys enjoyed the first half of that seed, the morph ball hunt. That was quite
Oh, we did.
a logic chain.
We enjoyed it so much we wrote it down.
I hope you wrote it down. I probably don't remember half of it, and I played it.
It was, well, it started with Sphere Zero having speed, mirror, and hammer on three opposite corners of the light world. Speed led to flute.
Right.
In
Or ice. Ice also led to flute. I guess either one worked.
That is true.
I don't remember where ice was. Somewhere early.
It was, where was Nice Beam? It was in... I can't even remember either. But, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice Beam or Speed led to Flute, which led you go to Death Mountain. Which let you pick up, with Mirror Hammer and Flute, you can do East Death Mountain for Glove, Pearl, and Cane.
We're all in the same room for the double items. Was funny.
Oh yeah, that was great. Oh, Nito just took a KO on the Ganon fight.
Yep, got hit by a fire bat there.
Ooh. So Glove, Pearl, and Cane on Death Mountain. You can get your first sword out of Hype Cave in the Dark World, along with Screw Attack and Book in Thieves Town / Village of Outcasts. Book and Mirror led to Flippers on Desert Ledge, and while you're at it, in that sphere, you can also get Master Sword under Old Mother Brain because of Screw Attack.
Yeah, the double dip morphless SM. Good.
Mm-hmm. Double dip morphless SM Retro Brinstar, no less.
Yeah.
Which led you to Titan's Mitts on Ether Tablet of all things. Mitts gives you Fire Rod, which gives you Morph Ball.
Yep, that's everything.
And then basically after that, the seed wrote itself.
Yeah, the flippers weren't actually required for anything except just swamp access.
Pretty much.
Also, I think the boots were also not required for anything except the torch big key in GT.
Right. I forgot boots were Sphere Zero as well. They were in Mini Moldorm Cave, question mark?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so basically your the edge you got was deciding to go back to Turtle Rock after picking up Fire Rod. Nito instead chose to dive at that time Swamp and Skull Woods. And ended up not getting Morph Ball until a significantly large amount of time after you did. He was the first to Gravity Suit, and by extension, Ice Rod and Hookshot. But by that point, you also had the rest of Super Metroid down your belt, and 2 extra Link to the Past bosses with various suits. So by the time you got to Gravity, there was still too much on Nito's to-do list. Right now, for perspective, Nito's just finishing up Ganon and just is about to cross over to Super Metroid.
Yeah, I got the restream up now. Yes, so to go down that list of things, first of all, I have a rule. I absolutely will not do Hookless Swamp unless it is the last resort. I refuse. I hate it. Not doing it.
We can understand that.
I knew it was on the table for a long time, ever since Flippers. All the other Flippers checks for nothing, so I can understand the play, but I personally just will not do it.
When it got, when you were, we thought Zora was the play initially, because we saw you farming up for Zora, and we thought, wait, what's left at this point? We didn't consider Old Mother Brain at the time, and we were like, we checked Zora, and it was like, wait, that's not progression. And we pulled a Kronk and said, well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, there was very little money early on. I had to get all the floor rupees in Pod and Eastern, and I barely had enough.
Yeah, that was pretty painful. Yeah, money was definitely an issue for a change today. Usually it's not, but yeah, actually, Nito checked Ether Tablet before picking up Master Sword to see that it was Titan's. You ended up blind checking it after Master Sword.
Yeah, because when I got the book, I had nothing else I could do on Death Mountain, and it's not really worth the trip to check it without being able to get the items, so I just never went back until I had the sword already. And about Ice Palace, I actually forgot Ice Palace existed for a while. When I got the Fire Rod, like my first thought was, well, I'm going back to TR, and then, like, after I was done with Norfair, I thought, oh, I can do Ice Palace too. That's been available for a long time. And I think missing that gravity suit actually worked out for me in the long run, because if I'd gotten gravity suit earlier, I probably would have like full cleared Meridia and then had to full clear Norfair anyway, looking for Bo.
Yeah, I would think, just because of how much you have to do to get in and out of Ridley, that it's probably more effective to do the Norfair route and get Various Suit rather than full clear Meridia and get the other stuff.
Because I think, let's see. Like, if I'd gone to Ice before Turtle Rock and gotten Gravity and then Morph, I think I would have gone straight to Meridia. And then I would have found Varia later. Maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah. There are, after Morph Ball, there were a lot of what-ifs, but both of you ended up, between the two of you, showing us pretty much the whole game, save for good chunks of Mire.
Yeah, I got both items out of Mire, so they were both garbage.
Okay, Nito did remember to face right. Oof.
Okay. Oh yeah, another reason I went to Turtle Rock immediately is because I was sure Boots locked Quake. That's right. I knew Boots locked something that was required. So yeah, they were required for something else besides the big key.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about Quake.
Because I thought like Quake has to have some kind of payoff because it was Boots locked and it locked both medallion dungeons, and Mire was empty. So after I got the Fire Rod, I was determined to go back to TR and clean it out.
And that definitely ended up doing you a lot of favors.
And also, this was a Bryn Skip seed.
It was, yeah.
Bryn Loop had nothing but space jump.
I think... I'm trying to think. After Morph Ball, the only relevant locations left were, in Super Metroid specifically, were Spazer, the Aqueduct, and Croc, and Left Sandpit. That was it, besides bosses.
Yep.
So yeah, you could have Bryn skipped this seed. We do have to compliment you on your end game, because you nailed baby skip. You got a great stand up.
Oh yeah, thanks. I felt pretty good about that.
Yeah, your end game was really good. Shoutouts to the big key being on the torch.
Yeah, that's everybody's favorite meme location, especially when there's no boots.
Well, luckily that wasn't an issue today.
About halfway through this seed, I said to myself, there's no way anyone's gonna sub.
There's no anyone's gonna what now? Sorry, you cut out a second.
I said there's no way anyone's gonna sub 3 this seed.
Surprise.
I think a couple other people did too. Yeah. 3 people sub 3 did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Nito's just preparing for stand-up now, I think. Nito's missing out on Wave Beam, because you picked that up in... Where was Wave Beam? It was in
It was
North Air somewhere.
North Air Escape Missile.
That's the one.
So was he just jetting it and didn't bother checking that, or did he like reverse and let escape?
He reversed North Air Escape.
Okay.
Because by that point, Nito was in go mode. Nito's go mode was bow.
Okay, yeah, I figured that would be a possible go mode if ice was checked earlier and gravity suit was gone earlier.
Yeah, because the funny thing was, by the time you got Morph Ball and the suits, we were still looking for 3 Link to the Past items, so there was still a lot to look for. So it was like, yeah, you're probably going to bet on... Somebody's probably going to bet on Croc today, and lo and behold, Croc's holding bow behind grapple.
Also, just the way I routed Meridia, I just ran into both of the items immediately.
Yeah, that was quite unfortunate, because you could have very easily gone to Shack Tool and Plasma Beam before heading in that direction.
Yeah, the way I do Meridia, if I gravity and flippers, is I backdoor, and then I go down left sandpit, do Main Street and Turtle and Beach, back to Aqueduct, and then right sandpit, and then Shack Tool and Plasma. And that lets me not have to stay scum and puts the 2 slowest checks last.
Yeah, that was... you made the right choice checking left sandpit first there, for sure. Alright, Nito is asking Mother Brain to taste the rainbow.
Yay, rainbows.
They are quite pretty. We actually had a double rainbow around my house once after a lightning strike hit literally less than 30 meters from the house. It was like 3 or 4 weeks ago, but we had a beautiful double rainbow right after. Nature's apologies. Interestingly, no sign of Buttersword from either of you this seed. It was probably... chilling in GT somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, after I hit go mode, I just stopped checking everything, because Butter Sword was literally the only quality of life item I could have found, and I just didn't need it at that point.
Yeah, very conveniently, you were still looking for items when you finished off Dragon, because that lets you pick up silvers. Nito ended up already being in go mode by then, and skipped those, and just yeeted straight out of Dragon's room.
Yeah, silvers are nice, but you don't need it either. Although I I did get a nice triple on Ganon, that was fun. He just happened to go right to the perfect spot for that.
Yeah, that was a great Ganon, great triple. Ika 2 could have been a little more cooperative, though.
Yeah, I messed that one up a little. It wasn't too bad.
So that's GG's in the chat for Nitorific, and we'll finish second on our restream. Go ahead, get the race sound for him while I'm just getting ready.
Surely. That'll be an official race time GG time of 3:07:01 for Nitorific, which will be good for 6th place overall. Our other finishers were, in order of completion, PP Chan finished with 2:54:10. We'll continue on that later, as we are joined in the booth by Nitorific.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Total Rock?
Yeah, I liked it so much I triple dipped it.
Yeah, I did too. GG's, by the way.
GG.
Yeah, no, that was one of the rudest morph balls I've ever seen, for sure.
Yeah. When I found it, I was just stunned. I stood there like for 5 seconds. Didn't know what to do.
I bombed the chest.
Yeah, your trademark rage bomb there. It was, both of you have given some very comedic reactions to that one for sure. I was actually just telling Hataka, I wrote the logic chain down. It was like an 8-sphere logic chain to get to Morph Ball. It's pretty nasty.
9 spheres, not 8.
9? Okay.
It was a seed.
It was a seed. But, so you were the first to... I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Say at least the end of that was actually not too bad. Just that morph ball's location was bad.
Yeah. Wreck ship was empty. Our necessary can fly space jump was in Bryn Loop.
Yeah. So what was I gonna say? Yeah. The big difference between the two of you was, Nito, you chose after Fire Rod to do Ice Palace, Front of Swamp, and Skull Woods. Hitaka went straight back to Turtle Rock and picked up Morph Ball, but as a result went to Super Metroid before picking up Gravity, but ended up being the first to Varia and by extension Bow.
Okay. I mean, I pretty much feel the only fortunate find for me was Bow. I decided to do Krog before Lower Norfair, and there it was. Otherwise, I full cleared everything except the back of Meridia.
It was pretty much the same case for Hitaka as well. He full cleared everything except the front of Meridia.
Yeah, I backdoored Meridian and then got go mode ice, brought in hookshot in the middle, and then just left.
Yeah. You die a bunch of times too?
I died once trying to fight GT without Various for some reason.
Yeah, was a fortunate call to check Krog before doing anything else. It's the only thing that went good for me, that went well. Because I think I last located everything else, pretty much.
Yeah, we saw Ganon gave you a little trouble as well. Silvers were behind Dragon.
He did something weird that happens. So, like, he stops his teleport like midway and he's facing the wrong way. Like, I don't know what triggers that, but it's really annoying because it messes me up. And I got a hug out of it, so I decided I'll just die to a bat. Who cares? I'll just restart the fight. It went much better the second time.
It did go much better the second time.
Got a couple of triples with the lamp. I didn't want to use my potion. That's why I took the death.
Ah, I see. And
Worse
other than
yeah.
Other than that, other than the split after Fire Rod, there really wasn't a whole lot of divergence between the two of you until that point. The two of you basically played the seed the same way because you inevitably both got railroaded into East Death Mountain just because of where Flute and everything else was.
Right. Flute was in the ceiling.
Yeah, you had to double dip Retro Brinstar for one item each dip, basically, to go back to Link to the Past to finish up the rest of that for Morph Ball.
Yeah, I mean, normal logic seeds are usually like that. Like, my top 10 worst seeds are all normal logic.
Oh dear.
I don't know. Yeah, like, I mean, Morph Ball 9 spheres deep. Don't think it ever happened to me in a hard logic seed.
I think I do remember one seed a few months ago where I think it was Morph Ball on Green Pendant.
It's not Laser Bridge, at least.
That's true. Yeah, it wasn't Laser Bridge, but it was close.
Yeah, Fire Rod opened up all the way to Laser Bridge, so... I actually have no idea what's on Laser Bridge. The key layout had no keys on Laser Bridge, so I just
there's a heart, there's a reserve tank, and something else.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that was something we found almost none of until you got to Brinstar. Itako was reserve tanks. It was like, we're seeing so much E, but not any R.
Yeah, there were a lot of E-tanks relatively early in the seed.
Well, with that said, gentlemen, is there anything else you would like to talk about here for tonight before we close out?
Well, considering everything that went wrong, I'll take a 307.
I thought that was pretty fun. See, I kind of like goofy logic chains like that.
It certainly was fun to take notes and record it all down. It was great. The audience at home loved it for sure.
Glad they did.
All right. Well, with that said, I think we're going to close things out. We'd also like to remind the audience that we are currently in the middle of qualifier matches for the SMZ3 hard co-op tournament. Stay tuned to the Speed Gaming schedule for dates on the upcoming races there. Follow the two of our runners here, Naderific and Hitaka. They have put on a fantastic show for you here on this Sunday. No, it's not. On this Monday evening.
Monday.
Now technically Tuesday morning here on the East Coast, but whatever. Follow my amazing co-com, Professor Render, who has been responsible for joining me here in the booth A, B, tracking, C, setting this whole thing up in the first place. So
I've been a busy bear, that's all.
You have, and we thank you for it big time.
All right. I hope you have a good night, and take it easy, everybody.
See you next mission, folks.
Good night.